Evening, good morning, good afternoon. I've worked my way like in a weird combination. I'm a bit all over the place. Very much like Manchester United, the football club. Don't know where my senses were. I don't know if it's day, night, evening. My God, what an event that was. The mighty Man United getting smashed to pieces uh, in a hot, sweaty London near you. Um, to talk about this, possibly. To talk about Gabriel Jesus, possibly. To talk about Chelsea versus Spurs tomorrow, possibly. To talk about Liverpool on Monday, possibly. The reason why I say possibly, people, is you know the drill. This is the Khan show. This is not about me, even though my name's in the title and my pictures on the thumbnail. It's not about me. I'm just here to give you a platform today. Speak to me, talk to me. If you don't like me, talk to Bilal. You cannot not like Bilal. Bilal, what are you saying, my bro?
Yeah, man. Just came back. Obviously, everyone's watching that Brentford Man United game, and to be honest, I'm not surprised. I don't know if anyone else
No,
in the chat watching surprised. For me, I've been saying it. I think Man United are one of the worst teams in the Premier League, and time after time after time, it gets proven they cannot control a game. They can't dominate any sort of midfield battle. Again, Brentford weren't amazing. They weren't anything special. They just put a bit of hard graft, a bit of desire in. Thomas Frank coming out with the whiteboard, every 2 seconds. And that was enough, to get past them. Lissandro Martinez getting hooked off, at half time. How much was it? £60 million.
oh, we need to speak on that as well.
5'9" centre back. I tried to tell them. They didn't want to listen. But yeah, Man United in the mud. Long may it continue from my point of view. But yeah, listen, from a footballing perspective as well, I think Man United have a lot of work to do. Maybe we'll get a Man United fan on if they're brave enough to come on and try and discuss what's
No,
happening.
no, there is definitely a brave Man United fan that I can see in the studio.
Mhm.
We're going to be getting him on very, very soon. It's only right we get him on first as well. But yeah, look, people in the chat, you're all very, very welcome. There's over 55 of you in here already. Let's go. Let's get this call-in show going. We're here for the long haul. Me and Bilal are here for your Saturday night therapy. You know what I mean? We're here for your Saturday night woes. We're here to celebrate with you if you got something to celebrate. Because Bilal, some results today. Quite a few fair amount of games today. I know we got a major one tomorrow, but
Yeah,
even today's results. Have you got that screen that we can
yeah.
talk about the
So
results today? So look, maybe there's Villa fans that want to come out and talk about Steven Gerrard. Stay of execution. They beat Aston Villa 2-1, Everton 2-1, who are in the shits. They're in the proper shits, aren't they? Man City, I'm not, Man City, yeah, routine 4-0. We're going to keep that moving. There's not really nothing to talk about. I know you're probably going to want to talk about Arsenal 4-2 because,
yes, of
yeah,
course.
100%. You guys, Southampton Leeds, what a cracking game. I don't know if Leeds people want to speak about that. Brighton Wolves to be expected. I knew that's going to be, and Wolves Fulham.
Yeah,
Mitrovic scores a penalty last week, misses one this week. It is what it is. You've got to keep it moving. But people, as you can see, so much to talk about in the Premier League. Talk about anything. It's your topics. It's your agenda. It's your club. But I think it's only fair, Bill. Like what are you saying? I think it's only fair to bring in a Man United fan to start off proceedings. What do you think? I don't know.
yeah, 100%. If you can get a Man United fan, the defeat, the wounds are still fresh. So I want to
Yeah,
hear
they
from
must.
them.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's bring in Michael to the stream. Michael, my brother, you're very, very welcome, especially tonight. We're always very hospitable to other clubs' fans, but especially to Man United on an evening like this, or as the case may be, afternoon where you
Yeah,
are.
still early enough here. Only 3 p.m. and
3
I'm
p.m.
already complaining. I'm already contemplating life at 3
Long,
p.m. I was
long,
contemplating at 12 p.m. But
long weekend, long
that's a
weekend.
long weekend.
How are
Yeah,
you? Well,
good man.
silly.
How are you?
I'm trying to be a shithead by saying how are you? Like
No, I'm still.
everything.
I'm good. I've calmed down a little bit. I turned the game off after like 20 minutes. I wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna like gonna go further, but then I turned it back on because I might actually be a psychopath. I might have like something with pain because I turned the game back on and it didn't do me any justice because I saw Scott McTominay make a 5-yard pass and kick it to row A. But
well, where do you want to start, bro? Where do you want to start? Because like, look, it's all about. I mean, I don't know. Bilal, is it come to a point where Man United? Where do they start with the blame? Like, there has to be a blame. So we're going to get Michael's opinion, but looking from the outside, like me and you, and of course we're laughing in, but it's a situation that I don't know how they fix it in the short term. Never mind long term.
This is a real structural problem at Manchester United from top to bottom. They've tried so many managers. I don't know how many managers been now, if I can count LVG, Moyes, Mourinho, Oli, probably missing someone. I think Giggs was there for a little bit as well. You know, Man United, at the end of the day, they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. So being this bad, it shouldn't even be possible, really. But over the last 10 years, especially since Ferguson has left, the signings they've made, the profile of players they've brought to the club, you know, even watching them today, De Gea, Maguire, it's like they're scared of the ball. You know, De Gea trying to pass out the back, it's panicky, they're making mistakes. Somehow they signed Eriksen, who's a number 10, and he's playing as a deepest lying, midfielder. He's in between the centre backs. And for me, I think that just sums it up. I think the players that they've brought in over the last decade have just been terrible. And all the money they spent, I think over $1 billion now, is it even there? Can you even see it on the pitch? I don't think you can. I think Pogba was one of the few, of the last guys of that £1 billion spent, and he left on a free again. So, I think Man United, for me, the money they've wasted, the Glazers, in terms of what they're looking for, they're trying to use Man United as an asset in terms of getting money out of the club for themselves, really, if we're keeping it totally honest. Of course, they'll try to spend money, but normally it's Man United's money. But when they do spend money, it's trying to buy, that big name, that big player, that someone who's going to sell a few shirts, like a Cristiano Ronaldo panic signing. Does he fit into the team? Does he fit into whatever Oli was doing at the time? No, not really. What happens then? Ronaldo comes in. He's looking at this club that is not the same as the one that he left. And look at him now. He's there losing 4-0 to Brentford. He clearly wants to leave. Rashford, his head's gone. Like, for me, I don't know, top to bottom, the whole squad itself needs, I don't know how many players. Michael, how many players do you think you guys need?
Well, before we get to Michael, before we go to Michael, you mentioned the Glazers and the owners and everything a few times, and I want to bring both of you guys' attention to something that I want to share with you guys. Hold on, not that one. Can we get that? Where's it gone? So, look, as you guys know, this is my good friend Terry Flewers, man. Let's see if we can hear him.
From the Glazers, it's the only way to save this club. Anyone buying kits, going to games, you're to blame. Get the Glazers out of this club. How do you do it? You cut the money away. You stop. Who's bought that new green kit? Who's walking around looking like a fucking wax stain? The Incredible Hulk. Probably you. Who's at the game today? Who's going to the next home game? Cut the money from the Glazers. It's the only way to save this club. Anyone buying kits, going to games,
we get the message. We get the message, Terry.
Glazers out of this club. How to do it? You cut the money away. You stop. Who bought that new?
We get the message, Terry. We get the message. Did we get the message? You guys got the message, Michael. It's all over to you. Me and Bilal have given you our version of events. Terry's made it very clear in that little rant at halftime because my brother was fuming. Other people that I tried to call haven't answered my call. Shout out Culture Cam, ain't answered my call.
He's on the space right now, to be fair to him.
Saeed ain't answered none of them have answered my call. I'm just getting aired by all of them. So I just thought I'd come live and speak on it. Michael, ever so brave of you, come on. Talk to me, bro. What's going on? Where do we start with your club? Where next? What the hell is going on at your club?
Start off, this club needs a soul cleansing. I will go get a Greek priest and I will fly over to Manchester myself and I will perform the ceremony because we need a cleansing. There's like a devil in the club right now and it's like suffocated, and that devil I'm going to is the Glazers. So I get Terry's point. The kits really is not that much because all that money goes to Adidas really, and I don't really benefit from that. But I get his point overall. the overall point. They are the problem. I don't want to complain. I don't want to complain about them in general. Like, I hate them and everything. But I want to talk about David De Gea, because the hatred I have for this guy is. I wrote an article in April, the Managerial, talking about how De Gea's like playing style will not transition to Erik Ten Hag, and I got called the Yank and everything. And I'm not a guy that usually say I told you so, but in this instance, I'm gonna say I told you so, because this guy is at fault. I think we've conceded 6 goals to start the season, 2 games. I think he's at fault for 4 of them. The preseason game against Liverpool, where he did sweeping and he got injured because he's not used to sweeping. He came out and said, "I'm good with the ball." 2 games in, he doesn't know how to pass. He doesn't know how to claim it. He doesn't know how to claim a cross. He doesn't know how to do anything. But I'm assuming you're an Arsenal fan, so you can kind of like consider with this Leno, who was a problem at Arsenal in terms of his playing style. He switched to Ramsdale, and I don't rate Ramsdale that much, but you could tell the difference in play style, how he fits that, and how he fits the team. But Leno didn't have the luxury that David De Gea has, in terms that David De Gea is considered a club legend and has built himself an untouchable status at the club, and no one can chat to him because of that, for whatever reason. There's been reports that when Dean Henderson came in for him, De Gea threw hissy fits, and Ole had no choice but to go back to De Gea. So what Ten Hag should have done, which he should have did a similar thing to what Pep did, and what Pep did to Joe Hart, and just root him out, send him to train by himself, whatever, let him complain, let him do whatever he wants, and go bring in a short-term keeper like Pep did for that 1 year where he brought in Claudio Bravo, and then buy an Ederson the year after, or just go big and go buy a Robert Sanchez or David Raya. David Raya ran 3 more kilometers than David De Gea today. I saw David Raya do a sweeper keeper action 5 times from the moment we conceded our 4th goal. That's a keeper. De Gea is Spain's 7th choice goalkeeper, by the way. Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper is Spain's 7th choice goalkeeper. And
is that really the case?
Maybe like 5th choice, but
he's like Unai Simon. There's Raya today at Brentford.
Robert Sanchez. That's 3 goalkeepers.
No way! I didn't know this.
Yes, because Luis Enrique said, "You're not good enough for my team because you don't know how to kick ball."
Fair.
He made that decision.
Fair. That's
what United need to do. And today he took accountability for his actions. Said I cost my 3 points. So I'll give him that aspect, because usually he doesn't take responsibility, because in the postseason presser, he said, "I had a good season." We didn't have a good season, but I had a good season.
Is that how he went on? To speak about himself? Okay.
If you're a 23-year-old kid, maybe I'll accept that. But you're a 30-year-old veteran. You've been at the club for 10 years. You've seen us. You won a Prem with us. You're the last player, along with Phil Jones, that's part of that Premier League winning club from 10 years ago. You should be taking responsibility. Instead, you're here gassing up your season because it was your first good season in 3 years. But here's another thing. There's a correlation with De Gea. He's a keeper that's better when we're getting panned and facing 55 million shots a game. That's not a goalkeeper that should be playing for a top-side team. That's a goalkeeper that should be playing for a relegation team. But you know what? We are a relegation level team because we are absolutely the worst team in the league right now. Maybe other than Everton. We'll find out when we play them, because right now I can't say that we're going to beat Everton, because I've actually been more impressed with them so far this season than I have been with my own club.
This is madness, because look, we've got some quotes. Apparently, shout out Trevor Lords, he says, apparently Ragnick said we need 10 players. I mean, can someone confirm that? Is that what he said in the interview afterwards?
Just said we need open heart surgery.
Wow.
Ragnick said that, yeah, I remember, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, Ralph Ragnick, not Eric.
Okay, and ETH said, no, we don't need you. Squad finished second, has loads of potential. Murto, a novice RR was a profit, 100%, until we have the best class in recruitment. Yeah, people are not happy. Mutasar says, are you complaining about De Gea? You have much more bigger problems at United than who your goalkeeper is. I disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree as well.
Yeah, go on. What was you going to say, Bilal? Go on.
Yeah, no, I disagree as well. Listen, De Gea for me is one of the best shot stoppers we've seen in the last decade. I remember the game
if he's that anymore, bro.
No, not anymore.
That first goal wasn't a shot stop. That's
exactly. So now we have to forget the De Gea. Remember the past. I remember I was at a game at the Emirates one day. I was literally behind the goal where De Gea saved at least 30 shots on goal. I remember it was one of the craziest goalkeeping performances I've ever seen firsthand. And I was thinking, wow, what a goalkeeper. But really and truly, the modern game, especially in the last maybe 5 years with Pep and Klopp coming into the Premier League, you've got to be good with the ball at with the ball at your feet, man. You've got to be confident. You know, De Gea, he makes everyone nervous, man. I think that's the main thing about De Gea. When your goalkeeper's confident, and Michael, you made a great point about me being an Arsenal fan and seeing Leno to Ramsdale. what Leno used to do when whenever he got the ball, I was filled with nerves, man. I'm thinking this guy's about to make a mistake. Better check before that. I was thinking, please don't pass the ball backwards. Now when Ramsdale gets the ball, I'm calm, I'm confident, I'm assured. And if I'm feeling that as a fan, imagine the defense. So I think Man United, from the goalkeeper Maguire today as well. I don't know what you think, Michael, about. I think the second goal. Was the second goal like what's he doing? He's dilly-dallying on the ball. He's looking around like, what are you looking at? And then he loses it, and then he makes a crazy tackle. Jensen, I think, with the free kick, and then it ends up becoming a goal anyway after, like, a few moments later. Man United, for me, so many problems. And Ten Hag, is he the answer? Should we? I think most people are convinced about Ten Hag. I know you guys think. I think most people believe he's a top manager, but has he shown that he's got the experience? Has he got the CV really to be coaching at the Premier League at this tough moment for Man United?
We're going to come to Michael right now for his thoughts on that. We got the first super chat of the night, Jamie Keegan. Big up the Jamie Keegan every time. He says, Joe, just goes to show preseason is important, not preseason results. Man United is the Titanic. Was thought to be too big to fail. Look now, too late. My God, it's been a horrible start. Now, obviously, I haven't gone overboard with the trolling. I haven't gone overboard with the cussing. I haven't gone overboard with the banter. And there's only one reason for that. It's because we play you guys next.
Don't worry,
not next. We play Palace.
I'm hiding for that game. I'm making sure I have work that day.
But the thing is, right, I've been in this game for too long, man. I know I'm like double your ages, man. I'm telling you, football don't work like that. Sometimes football has mad surprises in store. For example, look at Fulham on the first day. So mad shit can happen. But it's a mess, man. It's a mess. Michael, Bilal made some points there about, Ten Hag and where you at with him. It's hard. It's hard to pinpoint anything on the coach right now. Before you go, Bilal, the screenshots in the background, because obviously it's a call and we've got people coming in the studio. Yeah. Can we remove those, do you think? Does that take up a place? Is that how it works?
Yeah. No, it does. It's fine.
It does.
I can get them up whenever. So it's cool.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Michael, what are you saying?
So yeah, with Ten Hag, I do think as a coach, like just from a tactical perspective, he is a great coach. Like he's proven himself in terms of that. But Grizz, remember the first time I came into Kall, I think when Leos was there, I talked about giving him the full power in the transfer window. That was gonna backfire. It's backfiring. It's not all his fault. It's Man United's fault for not having a plan in terms of having a scout team, because we don't have a scout team. They all got fired. So we're scrambling in the recruitment list. We brought him a list from like 2017 probably with Saul's name on it or something. He said, no, I don't like these players, so let's go to my list. Timber was the first name. That didn't happen. So he went to Lissandro Martinez. Anthony's name. Then he went to Ziyech, who the club has said no to. Like they backed him in everything except that. They said no Ziyech. Actually, that might not be the right decision right now because I'm mad at that route. Jadon Sancho right now is pissing me off because I love the player from what he did at Dortmund, but as a winger, I grew up with wingers taking on their man, 1v1, show some aggression. He ain't doing no aggression. He's trying to do flip-flops, but they ain't coming off. He's getting locked up by every fullback in the Premier League, and through 120 minutes, however much he's played so far, he hasn't done anything. So you're the 70 million. You're the one player that everyone on Twitter rates mostly for Man United. He's like the shining star. Everyone else hates everyone else. I need you to rise, and he hasn't risen so far. I let him go by the first season. The United was in chaos, first season adjustment, but that hasn't happened yet. So I need him to do something. And as for Ten Hag, it's a welcome to the Premier League moment. Everyone has those. A manager, a player. You saw Saliba today with that own goal. It's a welcome to the Premier League moment. It's how you respond to it. So I want to see Ten Hag against the Liverpool game next week. If he benches De Gea for Tom Heaton, I'll believe that he has the minerals to be a Man United manager.
No chance he does that. No chance he does that.
I would love if he did that. Bench Bruno Fernandes or something. He showed a little minutes with Ronaldo, but he brought him back in. Obviously, you don't have a striker anyway.
Yeah.
But I want to see. He's been quoted talking about how Pep made mistakes in his first season by not having physical players. And my biggest issue with Man United right now is their physicality.
Who said that?
Ten Hag. He said Pep's biggest mistake was not having physical players in his first season, and he adjusted to that.
He said that. Where did he say that?
He said that in an interview in 2020. And he said Pep adjusted to that.
I thought while he was in the Premier League. No. He said that in the past speaking about Pep Guardiola.
first season at Manchester
So
City.
he
saying,
knows
Yeah.
what's needed in the Premier League, right? In terms of physicality, in terms of running power, in terms of energy, all of this business. And then what does he do? He picks
He's the shortest
probably
midfield
the
I've ever seen.
shortest midfield you've ever seen against probably the most tallest team in the Premier League. Someone find out if Brentford are average one of the tallest teams in the Premier League, who live for set pieces. Their manager is so particular in his preparation. Like, he looks at every possible thing like this kind of things. Did you see, as you said, Michael, the way he had his board out every fucking drinks break even? He was on this, man. And you guys, he had Varane fit. I'm not sure if Lindelof was fit.
He's out of the squad right now.
He picks your shortest defender, Fred, screening them with Ericsson. My God. So if he said that, he's confused, right?
I don't know what he's doing, but I mean, Rabiot is a tall player. So, but the thing with Ten Hag is, like, he's been linked to physical players. Like, you see the striker that he's been linked with, Arnautovic, that's a physical player. Morata, that's a tall physical player. Darwin Nunez, tall player. So he likes the tall strikers. I've gathered that. Midfielders, Rabiot, maybe not the best on the ball, but he's a taller player. Milinkovic-Savic, that's a tall physical player. So we're getting targeted with them a little bit.
Yeah, makes
now
sense.
we got to bring them in. Can we do that? United want apparently 3 signings before the next Monday's game against Liverpool. We ain't getting 3 signings. We barely got 3 signings in 3 months, let alone in a week. So let's see what happens. Even though I think Rabiot's deal will be done by the Liverpool game, I think we just got to talk with Veronique Rabiot right now, with his mom. And Frankie, this guy is probably begging Barcelona to send him to jail right now because he does not want to join. Because, you know what, Man United right now might be worse in jail in a football perspective, because we are in the pits of
Man. I hear you and feel you. Bilal, just this quickly before you go. It says, Joseph with a super chat. Appreciate the help. He goes, I disagree with the CV take. Wenger came from the Japanese league. I think that's for you.
Well, I don't know. He was at Monaco as well before that. He had a bit of a good reputation. And listen, Wenger came into the Premier League. Everyone was on him. They were saying he's killing English football. Who's this foreigner coming into England? He took a lot of heat and he delivered results pretty much immediately. So you've got to, if people have doubts about you, you've got to deliver straight away. And Ten Hag so far, he's not doing that. I know it's only 2 games in so far, so we'll judge him halfway through the season. I don't anticipate him getting sacked unless Man United literally lose like 10 games in a row or something. So Man United need results for Ten Hag to start building into this job, because as Michael made a great point, Man United have given him a lot of power in this transfer window. And already I'm seeing Man United media, Man United journalists, what they're doing is they're starting to shift the blame to Ten Hag, saying, listen, Ten Hag wanted these players. Ten Hag wants Rabiot. Ten Hag wants X, Y, and Z. So everything is going to go away from the Glazers, and they're going to end up shifting it to Ten Hag if it goes badly again. And he's going to have his head on the chopping block. And yeah, we've seen how that story goes before. It's happened to Oli, it's happened to Mourinho, and the cycle repeats. And then Man United fans later will come out, Glazers out. At some point, something has to give. And to get these owners out from Manchester United, I feel like that's the only way they will actually succeed at this point. They've shown they're not capable of restructuring the club properly. They've had 10 years since Ferguson to really try and, do it. If after 10 years you can't do the job, surely that's enough of evidence that you can't do it. So for me, I think Ten Hag, yeah, he's going to have to get his results quickly. He's going to have to find a way to get this team playing. But as I said, like for me, watching Man United, they're one of the worst teams in the league. They really are. Any team they play against, they don't look the favourites. So, yeah, it's a tough situation, and we'll have to see how they go from here.
Michael, it's real, man. This is real now, because I believe that's 4 defeats in a row.
7 away losses in a row for a team that went unbeaten away the year before. That was bubble tax, which is showing that bubble tax is a real thing, by the way. That lockdown period is a hoax.
Wow.
So
who's your last 4? So you've lost to Brighton and you've lost to Brentford in the league last 2 games. Who was your last 2 games in the league last season? Can you remember the results?
It was Palace.
Brighton,
Palace was our last game of the season, and I think it was Brighton before that.
Brighton
our last
4-0.
win was against Brentford, funnily enough.
So it is 4 league defeats in a row.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh shit! That's scary shit, man, right there. 4 league defeats in a row. And despite what you say about Man United, and we can cuss them until until sunset. Well, actually, we can do more than that because sunset's nearly around the corner. We're going to continue. We're not going to just do it until the sun sets. But there's no way a club of your stature should be losing 4 league games in a row. No way. There's no way. Like, you have to put a halt to this. And I'm just in the back of my head thinking, Liverpool next. You can't be stopping us, man, because I'm going to be fuming if
we're holding 5. Mo Salah's running riot. I'm triple captaining him in fantasy next week.
Bill out. Yeah. Liverpool next.
Listen, let me try to get their fixtures up because Liverpool, even the last 2 games, 9-0, Liverpool showed no mercy. You know what I mean? Like, Liverpool are very happy to put the dagger in and twist it 100 million times. I think Man United needed to win today. They needed to win today. They needed these 3 points. And the fact that they didn't get it going into Liverpool, I believe they've got Arsenal soon in a few weeks as well.
September.
The fixtures are only going to get tougher and tougher. I'll try to get them up. But...
Yo, are you serious? There's only 15 likes in it. Are you guys serious about the likes ratio? Like, are you taking the piss out of me or something?
Only 15.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Nah. Man United 0, Brentford 4, and you give me 15 likes for this shit. Come on, man. Sort that out, man. Okay. People are lying. It's 87. Okay. That's better. Better ratio. But still, man. Yeah. Keep it going, Florin, man. Everyone, hit a like, please, man. We've got so much to talk about. Yeah, big up yourself every time. Puvarasan. Hope I've said that right. Puvarasan. Selvem from Malaysia. Big up yourself. Big up Grizz 328 in Malaysia. You never walk alone. Take care of Saeed tomorrow. Oh, I'm trying to take care of I'm trying to take care of all my United people, man. But sorry, Bilal, you were saying something?
Yeah. So one more thing I want to bring up about Man United as well is like a lot of teams feel like they need to get a result or feel like they should get a result against Manchester United. And I remember Thomas Frank's quote, in January, they lost 3-1 to Man United, Brentford. And this is what he said. He said, "We absolutely destroyed Man United in the first half. It's a miracle that they were not 2-0 down at half time." And I remember everyone saying, why is he so bitter? Why is he thinking they should be beating Man United? Fast forward to August 2022 and Brentford are winning 4-0 at home against Man United. Teams across the league are seeing Man United as an easy win. And also it's a win where still Man United is a big name. I experienced as an Arsenal fan, I feel like when these mid-table or lower table teams, they have a point to prove when they play against these big names and these big players. And the managers themselves feel that way as well. So I just want to bring that up about how other teams as well feel. And I don't know, Michael, how do you feel when you play these teams? Do you feel like they have a point to prove most of the time against Man United?
What I say about Man United is any midfielder that wants to get a comp of himself on Twitter or wants to prove himself to another team, just go play Man United because that's the easiest game you'll play. Yuri Tillman probably got linked to Arsenal just because he was hooping against Man United in the only 2 games played last year. He hooped against us. Emil Kapui from Villarreal. I saw him dominate us in the Europa League final. Eric Dyer. Any midfield you can name. Tom Cleverley ran it back like it was 2011 against us last year in that 4-1 win. Any midfielder hoops against us. Any striker hoops against us. And with United, the simple as this. I'm a very big fan of history. So every era falls. Man United's era has fallen.
Oh yeah. It's fallen. It's fallen
years ago, but now it's even falling further. And whether we rise again, like other empires have done, I don't know. But every club goes through their Benta era. Liverpool went through it, Arsenal went through it, and now it's our turn to suffer. So it's unfortunate for me that it's gonna happen during my prime years, but I'm gonna have to hold that. Hopefully my kids, if I'm gonna make them support United, will probably gonna hate me in the future. Like, why the hell am I supporting this club when I could be rooting for other clubs? I'm like, you're gonna have to hold that too. I had to suffer, you gotta suffer. But it's just how life works. In terms of football. So,
do you know what, Michael? This is probably punishment when you have to look at your next fixtures, because I've been here as well in the Hodgson era when we hated looking at the next set of fixtures, yeah. And Bilal's done a nasty one on you right now. He's put up the fixtures for you, right, to go through. Now you let me know. You talk to me, bro. You talk to us and see where you're going. So you got Man United, Liverpool next, right, which is next Monday. We got Palace. We got to handle our business first against Palace. Then we got to handle you guys, man, and no mercy. We got to. I'm not one of these guys that talks about 4-0 and 5-0 and smashing. I don't give a shit if you outplay us and we get 3 points against Man United. As a Liverpool fan, it's all about 3 points and get out of there, right? Because that's the way the rivalry is. Of course, it's not at that level right now because of you guys, but still, that's just the way I look at it. I'm not about thug life and going there and smoking you guys and all that kind of shit. But then you talk to me after that, because after that you talk to me for your next 2, 4, 6 fixtures and tell me what are you doing in those 6 fixtures? Talk to me.
Liverpool game, that game's going to be hilarious because first of all, I mean that place is going to be toxic next Monday. It's going to be the most toxic place that Old Trafford has probably been in years. It's going to be more toxic than it was after that 5-0 because there are going to be protests for that game, especially after what happened today. It's going to be a very hard place. And one thing I noticed from Man United players, they hate playing at Old Trafford right now. They hate it. As a player, you should not hate playing at your own home ground, but they hate it because they know how toxic.
That's not healthy.
It's toxic in there. Southampton, theoretically, it should be a win, but we always struggle at St. Mary's. So I'm not confident.
On what basis, though, Michael? Should be a win on what basis?
Because we're playing against a bunch of kids. They have a very young team on that aspect. But like I said, we always struggle at St. Mary's away. It's not the easiest ground to go to.
Ward-Prowse, free kicks all the time for some reason.
Against the Hair, that's cash money. I'm going to go place a bet on that. That's cash money right there. Leicester City, I saw today. I know Arsenal won like 4-2, but I was actually impressed by some things I saw from Leicester. In terms of attacking, their defense was Wesley Fofana. Maybe he was tanking for that Chelsea move or something because he was getting ragdolled by Gabriel Martinelli today. That was atrocious. But Leicester, Yuri Tillemans, if he's still there, he's running the show against us. Jamie Vardy, go on David De Gea, and then Arsenal come to town, and it's not looking good for that game. It's not looking good because Gabriel Jesus, the way that performance I saw today. Saka again. If Luke Shaw is still starting left back by then, which if he is, I might have to start questioning Ten Hag because Luke Shaw is one of the most complacent footballers I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know why he chose to become a professional footballer if he's not gonna love it. Like, what is the point? He wants to go become a CIA agent. Maybe he should have chosen that career path or something. Because now maybe he would have been better at that. So that's not looking good. Palace.
So hold on. Can you confirm with us? Did Luke Shaw get taken off for tactical reasons or an injury, or was it
had to be tactical? It had to be. Ten Hag was tired with him. That's the one thing I'll give Ten Hag. He's very quick to pull the plug, from what I'm seeing in terms of players, which is good. And it helped that he had a signing at left back, so he gave Luke Shaw the first couple of games to prove himself why he should start over Tyrell Malacia. But he did not prove that, and it's time to hold bench. And his contract's up in June or in May. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. I hope he walks under free. I hope De Gea walks under free because if United extend De Gea's contract, I might have to fly to Manchester myself and have a discussion with John Merton and Richard. You know what? It's probably quicker for me to go to the Glazers because they're in my own country. So I'm gonna go take a trip to Florida.
Exactly.
They need United fans need you, man. You got to be their soldier in America. What do you think? What do you think about Lisandro Martinez though as well getting hooked off? Like,
I was one of those guys.
As well, Ben Mee.
I was one of those guys that said maybe his height won't have an effect because I'm looking at the.
Was you? That's what I want to hear. Be honest.
I'll be honest.
Because I preached to all United fans. I said, guys, stop this. Don't give me this Cannavaro and Baresi and all this
Mascherano.
Don't talk to me. I'm a veteran. Don't talk to me about this. This is the Premier League. This is nasty. They don't give a shit about you being silky on the ball and you can ping a pass and you can break a line with your left foot. They don't give a shit. I'm telling you, you went to London and you held that because these guys bullied him off in 45 minutes. Even last week, Danny Welbeck bullied him. Like, he's going to get this every game, especially away from home. Every game that he plays in, even if it's a footballing team that you play, for example, Brighton, even they changed their game plan. They they did. Brighton normally play football, but they said, nah, man, they've got, you know what I mean? They got they got some hobbit over there. Let's just keep aiming the ball at that hobbit and something will happen. But go on, do you see light at the end of the tunnel for him? Because obviously you got to stick with him.
Yeah, I mean, I love him as a footballer, but it might have to. I know he said he don't want to play DM, but respectfully, Ten Hag's gonna have to make boardroom decisions. And as a manager, and say respectfully, I know you were a great center back for me in the Eredivisie and everything. I know I said the height wouldn't matter because he got that dog in him, but you know what? Ivan Toney also got that dog in him. So does Danny Welbeck. So they're taller. You know, Ivan Toney only like an inch taller than him, but much more stronger. So he's gonna have to go play DM because you know what? That's a good thing about Lisandro. He's a versatile player. And he's got all the attributes to play defensive mid because he's good on the ball. He knows how to break lines. He's still a good defender. There's just the height, but the height gets a little taken away if you're in midfield instead of center back. And with a Varane behind him who's still quick enough, I don't know who'll be next to Varane. Don't know about that, but maybe you'll have to go sign another center back next year or something. But the DM might have to be the solution. I
mean,
don't even know the stats from today. I didn't even look at that yet.
But see, the thing is, right, and I'll say it again, in my humble opinion, this guy is not even great. Like, he gets a lot of hype, and people talk about Ivan Toney. I don't think he's great, you know, guys. I don't know what you guys think. That's just my opinion. I think
you're talking about Ivan Toney.
Mm-hmm.
He's a decent, like, you know, like he'd be great for Man United right now, for example.
Anyone would be good for us right now, man.
Yeah, he'd be good for Newcastle right now. I think if he was there in the past. For me, he's very, like, his ball control from the air gate, picking up balls from the air is good. In the box, he's a decent finisher. I think he's better than the likes of Watkins, for example. If you're talking about that kind of level of English strikers, I think he's better than a Watkins, Calvert-Lewin right now as well. So for me, I rate him higher than those guys. So I guess I do rate him in that sense because I'm putting him above these guys who, in the England setup, they're further ahead. So for me, I do think he's a good player. I remember Klopp was talking to him after one game. He terrorized Van Dijk a little bit. I remember this game, Brentford, was it a draw? Like 2-2 or 3-3. Yeah, like Ivan Toney is a good player. I really do rate him. But obviously today, when you're up against Lisandro Martinez, these stats are going to be looking fantastic. The aerial duels won. Even Ben White, for example, as an Arsenal fan, someone I watch him most of the time doesn't actually struggle in the air. But the misconception of him has maybe stemmed from that first game he played against Ivan Toney, where Ivan Toney literally dominated him. So for me, yeah, I do rate him as a really good number 9. There's not many number 9s in the game right now, if we're keeping it real.
Do you know what shocks me about these stats? Yeah, one stands out to me: the 6 touches in the box. The 6 touches. You know, there's strikers out there that don't get 6 to 8 touches in the game. Never mind in the opposition box.
Haaland today.
Yeah, Haaland today. Lukaku last season. Loads of strikers don't get touches. That many touches in a box, in a whole game. Sorry, never mind in a box. You can't be letting the other striker have 6 touches in your box. How are you doing that? Where's the DM screening? Where's the 2 centre backs doubling? It's embarrassing, bro. That is embarrassing stat. I didn't even know that. But yeah, man, look, it's looking peak for you, bro. Those fixtures coming up that we looked at, they're looking peak for you. But
I was looking for my vacation in a month. That thank God that's their international break.
But you know, the thing is, right? So many guys got hyped over preseason, and you beating the. I'm not even gonna say nothing yet. We're gonna talk again next week after the Liverpool game, man. One way or the other. I know I'm gonna get a lot of Man United callers, one way or the other. Well, one way. If you get a result, then yeah, this channel is gonna be closed for a week. Not gonna lie. Bilal, you confront any show you want, brother.
Come on,
yeah. But you're not allowed to talk about Liverpool when you come on. You understand? If anything apart from Liverpool win happens next week, I'm just letting you know right now. If you call me bitter, call me bitter. If you call me sad, call me sad. Call me what you want. I ain't doing that. But if we smash them and we get 3 points like we're expected to do now, with the state of that Man United team, next week we're going to get Michael on again and we're going to hear from him, see how he's feeling. We're here for you though, bro. All you got to know, you got to remember, we're here for you. Every single time. Bilal, we're here for him, right?
100%. Come on every time you lose. Come on. We need that.
We're gonna it's like, look, at the end of the day, we're trying to look for like light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, we're trying to help, really.
I don't see it.
Rabiot?
Does he drop his 67? How much was he? The centre back?
I think it's like 60 million euros in total, like maybe with add-ons.
So does he drop in now suddenly for Liverpool next week with Varane coming in? Because I can't see Lisandro playing again.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they signed him in the first place for that much money.
I think he'll play midfield.
Ten Hag's already said he hasn't got the lungs for midfield. Like he's already.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said in Ajax. He said this guy can't play in midfield. He hasn't got the.
I'm left back then. Do something.
Left back, because Arsenal are looking at him as a left back, not a centre back. Maybe that's something. But Malacia's there now.
He might play a 3-back. He might play a 3-back. He might
Can I say the only person that looked in that second half who was up for it or remotely gave a shit was your left back?
Good player.
Yeah.
Malacia, I like him.
He came on and he showed fight. He came
Only
on
good
and he
sign
showed
he made.
fight. So that's, if you're looking for lights at the end of the tunnel, that guy looked good. That's what I can say. But apart from that, it was peak out there for you guys, man. But Michael, you've been a sport anyway every time. Thank you very
big
much
up,
for
man.
popping on, man. Big up yourself, man. We're gonna
Big up,
catch
man.
you real soon, man.
Yeah.
Look after yourself. Get away from football, bro. Go and enjoy something.
I'm
Do
gonna
something.
go watch PSG now.
Yeah.
I'm addicted
Watch
to this sport.
PSG, do Barcelona, do something, man. Just get away from football. All right, take care of yourself, my friend. Kevin Jimenez says Malacia starts next week. He should have started already. Look. I'm not even going to say nothing about Luke Shaw anymore, man. Everyone knows Luke Shaw is not
one good season in like how many years? He's not a good defender. Well, he's not a good fullback. Full stop. I don't know how many assists he's even got in the last few years. It's like it's definitely under 5. Definitely,
Yeah,
if it's more than 5, I'll be shocked.
It's pretty mad. We got a next caller already. I want to bring in Avinash, who's a Liverpool fan. So let's bring in Avinash. Avinash, how are you, my brother? You're on mute.
Sorry, yeah, I'm good, Grizz. How are you?
Yeah, good. Not
Bilal?
too bad.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good.
I'm good. Feeling better after last week. Obviously, we can't fully celebrate until we get the job done. When I mean celebrate, but join in the banter and the laugh at Man United. We this game is so amazing. It's amazing because you can never predict anything, man. So until we smash Crystal Palace, I'm okay. After we smash Crystal Palace, then we can focus on the next game. But how are you? And more importantly, what do you want to talk about, my brother?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing well. Like you said, I've gotten over that result. It's been a really horrible week, though. Really, I can't remember a week that's been this long. We probably needed a game on Tuesday to get that out of the system. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who came up with the schedule, but it's been like agonizing, just waiting for the next game to come around. And I did want to talk about Liverpool, but I mean, how can we not laugh at Man United first? Man, that game. Like, I just wanted to. A couple of things stood out for me in that first half. First of all, it was the naivety on show. Like, you wouldn't believe this. What Christian Eriksen did. There was a passage of play where he tried to flick the ball around the corner, receive the ball, and then he got charged down, and it nearly resulted in a goal before they actually scored. I did the exact same thing yesterday when I was playing footy out in the park. And guess what? I never did it again. And this is what Christian Eriksen does. And he does it again in the box in a much more dangerous situation. And I don't know what he's thinking. Why is Eriksen playing 6, first of all?
It's not his fault, in my opinion.
It seems like Eriksen is his pet project, puts him at false 9, then moves in deeper. Now he's an 8, now he's a 6. He's totally not cut out to play that. You can do those kind of little flicks in the final third and they may come off, but not in your opponent's box. Now, of course, the pass by De Gea wasn't great. Now, that's another thing that, the previous caller spoke about. It's not his strength. But the naivety on show, I mean, people talk about them not having, they're not working hard enough and not having enough stomach and things like that. But the plan, what is the plan? I mean, I don't know if the plan is wrong or the players are not able to execute it, but it was amateur. And, there was another passage of play which stood out to me where this was after the second goal, after that mistake by Christian Eriksen. They set up to play out from the back. The centre-back split, the 6 dropped into that. And then Brentford pushed a man on to press. And they just bailed out. De Gea said, okay, we're not doing this. And he went long. Like, that to me showed that it's just so amateurish. It's like they're playing, in the park. I don't get it. How can
it looks like no work has been done in pre-season, Avinash.
Like, and that's not what we heard, right? That's not what we heard.
That's not what we heard. Like, Bilal, obviously, did you watch the game, Bilal, as well?
Yeah, of course.
So it wasn't like Brentford had a particular plan in place. It was just, they asked Ivan Toney what was the secret, or what, hard work, he said.
Yeah, it literally was. It was physicality, it was desire, it was intense pressing. Their passing wasn't great, Brentford. They're not as slick as Brighton on the ball. They wasn't, really comfy in possession. A lot of periods of the game, Man United actually were passing it around. But Brentford, what they had was they were intense and they had them triggers. De Gea is a massive trigger for every team that wants to press. Whenever he gets the ball, boom, go and put some pressure. Maguire, when he has it, especially, go and put some pressure on him. And Ericsson now, he's been told to come into the six. You know, Ericsson, listen, he's not a physical player in that sense. He's not got the physical capabilities, really, in my opinion, to play that position in the Premier League. Because whenever he gets the ball now, he's just going to get charged down. And that's exactly what Brentford kept him doing time and time again. They made it so easy for Man United, for Brentford to play against them. I'm not, as I said, I wasn't shocked about the result. When you see those kind of things happen, those patterns keep on happening. And you know, Ten Hag, he's telling Man United, listen, he's telling De Gea, you have to pass out the back. You have to do this. These guys can't do it. They're used to playing for Oli. They're used to playing for Mourinho. They're used to playing counter-attacking, negative, reactive football. These guys are psychologically damaged, to be honest, if we keep it real.
100%.
They're damaged players.
If they weren't, they definitely are now, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is horrible. Like, obviously, we just brought up the stat about they've lost their last 4 games in the league.
Yeah.
Like, that's unheard of, man, for a major club. That's like what you hear of, like, we can imagine Fulham going through a phase like that, or a Bournemouth going through a phase like that, or who are the ones that got relegated last season, all
Norwich.
these teams. Norwich, we hear about that, struggling to get a win or even a point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've got 4 results. And when we went through the teams, Bilal, earlier, they're not major teams that they've lost to.
No, they've lost to
Brighton,
Brentford. They lost to Brighton again. They've lost to the likes of
Brighton
Palace.
Twice, and Palace.
Yeah, it's not a good reading for Man United. They're not losing to the top teams in that kind of manner. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I keep saying they're one of the worst teams in the league, because when you're playing against these sort of level of opposition in the Premier League, you're meant to dominate your top 6 club at the bare minimum. You have to dominate these games in the midfield, but they just never look like they can dominate any game for 90 minutes, let alone 30 minutes. For me, it's terrible. And as I said, that point about them being damaged, these players, they're scared to play football. A lot of them are scared, and I see that all the time when I'm watching them. They just look scared. Then you have someone like Ronaldo up front who just looks frustrated playing with these guys, to be honest.
Channel member Captain Sal says, "Let's not forget about the new centre back in the world scoring an own goal. Needs to we're not gonna let Bilal get away with that through the night, man. Relax. We're gonna 100%. Captain, thank you very much for reminding. We'll speak on that as well. But Avinash, maybe moving away if you want to from the Man United one. How about your club? I'm neutral today because when it's the calling show, I have to pretend I'm neutral. So everyone can see your club. How about your club? What's going on? What's the situation? How are you feeling for tomorrow? No, Monday.
Yeah, I just want the game to come as soon as possible, basically. Just been thinking and stewing on it. Like I said, it's been a really long week. Had a lot of time to think about a lot of things. Just reflect on that game. I know I didn't come in for the call-in show after the game because it was just, too early and I didn't have time to gather my thoughts. I even went and watched the game back. I don't know why I did it to myself, but just thinking about it, a couple of things stand out to me. The slight things that I'm concerned about. Again, it's not panic stations, it's just one game. But the couple of things that stand out to me were, one was the mentality. I think we've discussed this quite a bit. Klopp came out and said that the attitude wasn't right. I've never ever heard him say that. Like, that was definitely a first. And I know I've been on here a couple of times, even like even 4 months ago, just before the Champions League final, coming here saying that no matter what happens, this team is going to, come right roaring back, and they're going to come out of the blocks, and it's going to probably be another 1920 where we just keep winning, basically, and that mentality takes over. To see that sort of attitude and that mentality, it was a little bit concerning. And then you start worrying a little bit because, the last time, because again, take us back to 1920, and that was kind of the expectation. That's what I wanted to see. And it seemed that way after the Community Shield that, we are bang up for this.
We're on track, yeah.
So that's when I start worrying a little bit that, the likes of Gini Wijnaldum, the likes of Sadio Mane, who are so key back then. You remember, Mane pretty much carried us on our shoulders that season. He came back with a vengeance. He just had 2 weeks break after AFCON, if I remember right. And he was straight into it, and he was the man. Firmino is not quite the player that he used to be. Henderson is older as well. So Van Dijk was a little iffy. I'm sure he'll be back. He showed that last season. So you just, even though I totally trust the coaches and the environment that they create in that respect, I have no doubt. But yeah, I want the mentality monsters back, because that's what I expect to see from this team. Because that's what this team has shown me. The way they respond to setbacks every time. Anytime
Mm.
they miss out on something, they go and win it the next season. And on that basis, I've been predicting a PL and CL double based on what happened last season, just based on previous trends. And it's been a trend with Klopp as well over the course of his career. He misses out on something and he goes and his team's going to achieve it the next time around. So yeah, so that is a little bit of a worry. Hopefully, it's not a big deal, because it was not that long ago in the second half of last season that we showed that we haven't gone away, that the mentality monsters are still around, that we can still sort of get into that zone and just churn out win after win after win. So yeah, I just need to see that again, hopefully. And best time to watch
Nah,
this Monday.
I'm in agreement with everything that you said there, my brother. Um, there was causes for concern. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. You're right. There was the way we started that game, the way Klopp spoke about how we started the game was sort of
Really
backed up our suspicions or our opinions. So people can't even say, "Oh, you guys are being too harsh." Well, the manager said the exact same thing. He came out afterwards and said, maybe we weren't. He questioned what went wrong in the desire and the hunger from the charity 1 week before, when we were playing the best team in the country,
Yeah.
and when we were playing Fulham, a newly promoted team. And he said, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I didn't do something right during that week, which is humble of our manager. Nobody speaks about that aspect of our coach. That he says it. He goes, maybe I fucked up. Maybe I didn't do something right, because that wasn't the right attitude needed in the first game week. And I don't know about you, Avinash, but the concern for me is because of our opponents, as in Man City. Like, in a normal situation, going away from home against a vibrant, promoted team, new coach, new players, packed house, and you get away with a draw by playing shit, you normally think, all right, no problem. That's our stinker out of the way, and then we're going to go on a charge. But because we're messing with Man City, where every drop point puts you in like a state of depression until your next game,
Yeah.
that's the only thing, and that's bugging a lot of Liverpool fans. It is what it is, 100%. But that's what we're rolling with. That's what we're dealing with right here. Bilal, I don't know if you've got any thoughts on the Liverpool result, what Avinash is talking about last weekend. I don't know if you saw much of it, in terms of a lot of Liverpool fans, including me, including Avinash as well, talking about our attitude wasn't right. You don't hear about that, right? Even as a neutral.
Yeah, normally I associate Liverpool and Klopp. I always say it, like Liverpool is the team that make you feel like you're suffocating when you're playing against them as a fan. So I imagine
Mm.
how opposition players are feeling. So for me, to hear that Liverpool maybe are going through a game where the attitude's not right, always feel like Liverpool's attitude 99% of the time is 100% bang on. But then again, you have to remember how many years have this team been rolling, man. They've been rolling for years and years now. They just had one of the craziest seasons last season. They could have won the quadruple. The amount of pressure, the amount of energy they put into that season just gone. Maybe they're just human, they're meant to drop points. You know what Man City are doing in the Premier League? It's not normal. You know, you're meant to drop a point here and there. Normally you get over, was it 80 points or whatever, should be in contention for the Premier League. Now, you guys are putting up 90 plus points season after season. And I know you guys are talking about Man City, but I just saw this Henderson quote here that I like to get up. And it says here, Jordan Henderson's talking about the teams around Liverpool now. And this has been for a while. I've always heard Liverpool talking about Man City and winning and just looking forward. Now it looks like people in the squad may be looking behind their shoulders, the likes of Tottenham. Jordan Henderson saying here that teams are around us are improving. Spurs would be strong this season. They brought in some really good players, and Antonio Conte has done a good job there. United have a new manager. Whether that's going to actually change anything, that's another debate. And he says Arsenal are also flying. So is the mentality around Liverpool maybe looking towards the teams around them, top four, getting sucked back into that sort of area of the league. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to win the league, you're going to end up fighting for that second, for that third, maybe that fourth, worst case scenario, probably. So I don't know how you guys feel about that and think about maybe the mentality of the squad and the amount of years that these guys have played. Maybe things are shifting. Maybe it needs a bit more of a change in that squad.
Avinash?
Yeah, again, that's not making me feel any better, but yeah, I think we just have to. I think these are some of the doubts that we all have, and it's just we've been grappling with this pretty much for the entire week, and we really need the only way this is put to rest is we start winning games, we start showing what we're capable of. To be honest, as good as all these other teams are doing around us, I said this at the start of last season, and everyone was talking about Chelsea and how they could challenge us, and even some were anointing them as favorites. I said no other team, not just in England but in Europe, has shown what Liverpool and Man City can do over the last few years. That the way in which they can just go on 13, 14, 15 match winning streaks, it's absolutely ridiculous. And until some team shows me that, the jury's out. I am not really going to get that worried because I still know what this team is capable of. And yeah, I mentioned that we're missing a couple of big personalities, but we absorbed some of those punches last season and we came back when a lot of people were writing us off. They wrote us off at the start of the season. They wrote us off mid-season where we had, the first half of the season wasn't that great. We dropped a few silly points here and there. But what I saw in the second half of the season makes me confident that it's still there. It's not that long ago. And we'll be back. And it was fine margins. So, I mean, we can't really... People will say, that draw to Spurs or, a couple of... Fine, we could have maybe taken more points of the top four and things like that. But at the end of the day, that second... If we had played the way we did in the second half throughout the season, I think we'd have been fine. So it's not... Like I said, it's not that far off. It's pretty much the same personnel. It's only Mane who's missing from last season. So I think I'm pretty confident that, there's no reason to throw in the towel at this point. So, but yeah, let's just get back. Let's just start winning games again. We have to make up for that draw to Fulham at some point. I was thinking, if we go and beat United at Old Trafford, in a way it balances it out, maybe because you might think that Old Trafford is a hard place to go. But based on that, I'm not sure that does balance it out. So maybe we need to go and beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge or beat City at Etihad or something like that to make up for that. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was actually, what everybody's talking about, the midfield. So that is another thing that I'm really not sure. It's a bit of a strange situation, the midfield, because as much as we say that we have issues, we have 4 players out injured right now, and still we can't seem to make up our mind what midfield to start against Palace. We have so many options. We have Elliott who can bring something different. We have Keita who can bring something different. Even Milner looked really good when he came on. We obviously have Henderson and Fabinho who are still there, who are part of the old crowd, so to speak. So I was adamant for the longest time that we don't need a midfielder, but based on, I have become a little bit swayed and I started thinking about this. I think last season, the second half that I was talking about that we did really well, I feel it's not so much a case of lack of quality or depth in midfield because I think we have so many different options. Each midfielder brings something different. I think it's a case of consistency because when we finally started to hit on a sort of a run of form, we basically had 4 midfielders who were rotating for those 3 spots. It was Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago. Thiago pretty much constants. If you go back and look at that run, I think Thiago pretty much played the entire second half of last season. It's only this first half where he had a few injuries, and that's where there are these stats where Fabinho, Thiago play, we pretty much win every game and things like that. And it was either Henderson or Keita. That was kind of it. And that consistency is what I feel is the key more than just bringing in a different midfielder. Even if you bring in a different midfielder, it's just to have that sort of constant profile. Because if you think back to sort of the seasons that we were really good, the midfield was fixed. It was not the most creative. It was not the most sort of, enterprising, but it was always, you knew what you were getting. It was Henderson, it was Wijnaldum, it was Fabinho. And game after game, week after week, you knew what you were getting from that midfield. And that was similar to what we saw in the second half of last season. And that, I feel, that stability is what we really, really need to go back to that sort of Liverpool that we know, like we had in the second half of last season. But the problem there is we cannot rely on Keita and Thiago. Thiago is a year older, and Henderson is maybe losing his legs as well. I'm not sure he can play that 8 anymore. So we need a stable presence. Maybe Harvey Elliott is that player. Maybe Harvey Elliott plays predominantly the entire season. So then, we get that consistency back. So For me, yeah, that's what I want to see. Either we address that internally or we bring in a new midfielder. I'm okay with whatever. If Klopp thinks that Elliott is the player, if Klopp thinks even Curtis Jones is the player, I'm okay with that. But that's what we need to recapture. So that's where I'm at. So those
100%.
are the two things
Again, no, sorry.
we'll come back. And yeah, I think the first half of sorry, I'll just complete that point. The first half of last season, we had a lot of teething issues with this in this respect. It was a lot of churn. Different players were coming in there. Elliott came there. Curtis Jones came there. I felt like that and the centre backs coming back to fitness was the main reason why we dropped the points that we did. So just to further augment my point that consistency in midfield is what we're lacking, and I think that's what I'd like to see in whatever way we choose to address that.
Yeah, look, Jurgen Klopp spoke about it, didn't he? He said in his last press conference, which he was very spiky and angry and rattled almost because obviously he had heard Matip's out again, and obviously the other injuries and some of the questions. I like that about Klopp anyway. Even Alex Ferguson used to have that fear factor over media, that don't get too friendly with me. I can switch at you anytime. So no, it's good. It's good because these guys can take the piss with their questions, man. They think they're your best friend. They can ask you anything, anytime, anyone. No, Alex Ferguson, Mourinho all had that, where you don't. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Even Pep's one of the most awkward in press conferences. He gives one-word answers where he just smiles, or more than you can believe. He just gives one answer. So Jurgen Klopp's got that as well, where he switches. But obviously, the spotlight's always on Jurgen Klopp more than other managers of the past that have done that. But he spoke about it. He said, "Look, there's a few ways we can do it. We can go to the transfer market, or we can fix it internally." He goes, "If there was a transfer market that we could, if there was a transfer that I wanted, and we could have done it, we would have done it by now." Paraphrasing, but roughly he said that, which I think he was alluding to Tchouaméni. It has to be the right player, not just a player. If we had the right solution, then we would have done it already. We are not stubborn. We have a lot of conversations already, and it doesn't look like anything will happen. And look, of course, Jurgen Klopp doesn't always tell the truth in press conferences. He's not entitled to. He doesn't owe anyone to. He just has to do what he has to do for his team to get the results. He doesn't go around speaking the truth all the time to press conferences or journalists or whatever. So look, and obviously we tried to get Tchouaméni. Where the confusion lies in a lot of Liverpool fans' eyes is if we were going for Tchouaméni, which suggests we knew what the issues were or issue was, like Avinash has spoken about, maybe not the skill levels, but the reliability levels, the consistency levels, some of the age group of the options. Then we went for Tchouaméni, who is probably coming into his prime in the next 2 to 3 years. We tried to get him. We nearly got him, but he wanted Madrid. And we weren't ever going to pay that kind of money. And he wanted Madrid, so he went to Madrid. What a lot of fans' confusion, or where the confusion lies, is did we only have Tchouaméni in that list? Was it only Tchouaméni and Jude Bellingham? And unfortunately, we will never know. That's the harsh reality of it. We will never know as fans. So what do we do next? We see if they think there's another person on that list that is good enough, or strong enough, or available enough to come in. If not, then Jurgen Klopp and his team will look through the players that they've got as their disposal, the same players that nearly brought us amazing glory just a couple of months ago, and they can think they can improve them off the pitch. Maybe they can improve their levels of fitness. It's not showing right now because Ox has done his hamstring and Curtis has got a small little issue. It's nothing major. And Thiago's got like a 4-week issue with his hamstring. But it's irritating. It's frustrating. I get it from a fan's point of view, but what can we do?
I would be frustrated if I was a Liverpool fan because surely if you're going in for Tchouaméni, that shows that surely you have a bit of a budget to sign a proper midfielder. And I think, honestly, you can't just have Tchouaméni and Bellingham on your list. You've got to have at least 5 names. And if you're Liverpool, most of them would go to you.
But the problem or the issue Klopp says to that, Bilal, and it's good you raised that because it's always good to hear outside perspective. What Klopp's argument for that is, I don't think they're better than my boys. Do you hear what I'm saying?
I hear
So he
that,
doesn't.
yeah.
So, if, for example, let's just say me, you, and Omar are doing a stream. We're doing a stream, and we know Avinash is available. But you're saying no, but bro, I got Keith. You know what I mean? I trust Keith more. Avinash is new. I'm not. I'm just saying, Avinash. I'm just using you because you're here.
Yeah.
Please don't mind.
Don't worry.
You're great. I'm just using an example. I'm being stupid. Just use it because you're in front of me. My brain doesn't function too much, so I like things that are in front of me. I can just quickly use them.
Grizz.
So if Bilal says no, but Keith, I've been working with Keith for 2 months now. I know how he operates. I know how he works. I know what motivates him. I think Keith will be better right now. Avinash has got the talent and the potential to be a future star with us. I get what you're saying. Maybe, yeah, he's got good stats on other channels and everything. Yeah, he pulls in the numbers. Man knows what he's talking about. He don't talk rubbish. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I get what you're saying.
So the guy's gonna go. So the guy's gonna go with what he knows, isn't it? The boss is gonna go with what he knows or what he thinks. We may think, no, Avinash smashes Conroy and Keith, man. Come on, man, bring in Avinash. This is what we need to go to that next level. But it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one.
Also, I would add, like, as Liverpool fans, I know when you're a fan, you're thinking, okay, we need this just in case this or blah, blah, blah. But Klopp has shown since he's come to Liverpool, like, he does like a smaller squad in the first place. Like, he would be more than happy to have a small squad where everyone's all together and they're all gunning together. So I think that comes into it. And I don't think it's just an FSG thing where they're not willing to pay the money or blah, blah, blah. I think this is a Klopp thing as well, where he's more than happy enough to have his guys, and that's it. Unless there's someone who's 100% going to take this midfield to the next level, then he'll go for them. If it's not there, then he's going to wait.
I think that's how I think he looks at it. Avinash, what do you think? Is that how you think he looks at it, or do you think it's FSG holding him back, or how do you see it?
No, I don't think it's FSG holding him back, because I think we have the money to go and spend on Matheus Nunes, to be honest. I don't think that's a problem at all. And, that's the name most hotly linked with us right now. So, because we had, 100 million, we wouldn't have played 100 million for Tchouaméni, but we definitely had money there. Definitely, we budgeted at least 50-60 million euros there. So, I don't think that's the problem. Like you said, I think, and not even a case of somebody not being better, because I think there may be players who are better, but not that much better. But that's the thing, right? So remember, go back to, this has happened before with us. Remember when we were trying to sign Van Dijk, we could have named centre-backs who were better than the ones we had. We could have named centre-backs around Europe who were better than Lovren. But they wanted to wait for Van Dijk. Think about what happened during the injury crisis that we had. We were on our knees. We did not have centre-backs. We were putting on Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, Fabinho, Henderson playing at centre-back. Basically anybody. They pull a fan from the crowd and play them at centre-back.
I remember Liverpool fans literally making compilations about Mustafi at Arsenal, saying we should get him in. I was like, these guys have lost the plot.
100%. 100%. Look at this. How interesting is that, Avinash? Look what Bilal is saying as an Arsenal fan. But that's the desperation levels fans get to without having all the information at their fingertips. This is what it leads to, insanity of saying, bring in Mustafi, bring in Socrates. I don't even know if he plays or something.
I might have even said that back then.
Greece, I think, yeah.
But you get my point. So I hear, look, I get it, and we get frustrated, and I get frustrated as well, man. But you give the example. You give the example of that where we brought in Williams and Kabak. Imagine we had brought in, let's say, who else were we linked with? Kall. Let's just say Kall, yeah? He hasn't climbed any trees. He hasn't done anything of note since then. Imagine Liverpool as a club, as a recruitment team, bowed to pressure from social media, fans, whatever, and said, all right, let's just go and spend 25-30 million Kall. Yeah, and there's no Konate coming in.
Yeah, that's the issue.
So now let's forward it for 6 to 8 months, and we've got Matip, Virgil, Gomez, and Kall as our first 4 centre backs. Would we be comfortable and cozy as we are with Konate Matip and Gomez as our 4 centre backs? Have we currently got the 4 best centre backs in Europe? In my humble opinion, we are clear on that level.
Yeah.
Bilal, how do you see our centre backs as a 4?
I'm trying to think. I'm going through the teams in my head. Yeah, Liverpool as a 4, Matip is very good. So, and Konate is a monster. Like from day one,
and people ain't spoken about. People slept on Joe Gomez.
I think it's because of injuries, really. That's the only reason. Talent-wise, everything. He's got literally everything. It's just literally the injuries that are holding him back. But yeah, as a 4, it's definitely... I'm trying to think of Man City. Yeah, Liverpool.
Well, there you go. I mean, how's Man City's better, when you see? Look, I know you're a Man City fan, but talk to me how you have come to that conclusion. Unless you just come on to banter and troll, which is fine, no problem. No problem. If you've just come to have a laugh and banter me and try to wind us up. But how are you comparing Ake, Laporte, Diaz, Stones to the R4? How are you doing that?
Yeah, that's nuts. I can't lie. I think Diaz and Stones could have an argument to break into like a 4 with Liverpool. So you could have like Van Dijk, Konate, Diaz and Stones, 2-2. But we're talking as a 4 each. And then you got Matip in there. I rate Matip more than Laporte and Ake. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Look, like Lil Tim's, like that's how we base 4 centre backs, don't we? Whoever conceded the less goals, like that's right. Yeah.
They have a better system. That's all. Not better, but they have a system which protects the centre backs.
Look, Ake is better than Gomez, Grizz. Don't talk.
No, that's cap.
Nathan Ake is better than Joe Gomez.
Listen, fully foot Gomez, I'm taking him all day over Ake.
But Avinash, man, as usual, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. We've got so many callers waiting to come in, man, and so much to talk about. Really enjoyed chatting to you. Thank you very much for calling in. Hopefully, we have some happier things to talk about next week going into the Man United game. Appreciate your time, my brother.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice one. Take care.
Big up, man. Thank you for coming on.
Who did I say is next, man?
CFC.
No, I think we got Zuberi, channel member.
Okay. Zuberi. Sorry, after.
I mean, what do you think, as a neutral, about that? About Man City's centre backs as a collective being stronger than us?
It's not, because Van Dijk and Konate already, they're 1 and 2 in my head. Okay, maybe Diaz could break into that. As I said, I'd look at it 2-2. So you go, if you're taking 4 to take out of both teams, there's 8 defenders. I'm taking Van Dijk, Konate.
Look at his comeback. Look at his comeback. Where have I said that we're better than you as a team? Where have I said we're better than you in midfield? Where have I said you didn't get one more point than us than last season? It's not. I'm talking as a 4 individuals, 4 centre backs compared to your 4 centre backs. But let's bring in Zuberi. Yes, my brother, what's going on?
Hey, blessings. How you doing, Grizz?
I'm doing okay, man. Certain people are trying to round me up in the chat.
I see. Nah, just hold faith, man. Just hold faith. How you doing, Bilal? I said that right?
Yeah, Bilal, man. How you doing, Zuberi, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. I like your team, man. I like what you guys doing over there. Doing bits.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a bit. Yeah, if you want, we can talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it. I just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah, I'm going to say you don't talk.
I got to pay respect. I got to pay respect. I love football. Yeah, I watch any game. I don't care what league it is. Mm-hmm. I watch football. And you guys are doing good things. I just have to say that because I love football.
Yeah, that's the people we want on the show, man. Football people.
100%. That's why we got Zuberi on the line, man. Zuberi, I can sense it's time to bring out my pen. I can sense it's time to bring out a book, and I need to concentrate because,
Hey, I'm gonna keep it easy for you, Grizz. I'm gonna keep it easy for you. I put a lot of pressure on you. Past 2 weeks, maybe 3.
I like it though. I like it. You know me, I handle pressure because you know what pressure makes.
It makes diamonds. It makes diamond. But you know what? When you're already diamond, you got to be careful with the amount of extra pressure you put on it. You know what I'm saying? You got to protect what's precious, and diamonds are precious.
True say.
Hey, but listen, Grizz, though. Yesterday I was ranting and joking about it, but we seriously have to have a good conversation about it. And what I'm talking about, Bilal, shout out to you with that quote, because that quote is what I'm going off of, by the way.
Which one? The Klopp one?
Nah,
Or
the Henderson one.
Yeah, that's one.
What we're talking about mentality. So we're not gonna get new owners. There it is. We're not gonna get new owners. We're not gonna get a new manager. And right now, the fan base is in disarray with Klopp out, FSG out. It's not my intention to say Henderson out, but I think last season when we got Thiago, it was a conversation: have we outgrown Henderson? But none of the other midfielders stepped up, so Henderson just became an automatic with Fabinho and Thiago.
Mm-hmm.
Is it time to take the armband off him and give it to someone with a little bit more fire? Has Henderson waned too much aligned with FSG and Klopp? Because I don't feel the new mentality. I feel like the mentality is dying out. I feel like we need a new champion to come in with a little bit more vigor. So when FSG and Klopp is doing the political thing, we got to play on the field, say, nah, man, we taking the fight. Nah, man, we still doing this thing. We don't worry about what they do. I see them making moves. We don't care. I feel like he's too aligned with them to just be like, nah, we're neutral, we're playing it safe. Yeah, they doing bits. I don't think we should be getting that from our captain. I think we should be getting that fire. Like, now we're going to go out there and fight. They could sign 100 players. We're going to still knock them down. Yeah, I think they're still the target, but we're still going to fight them. I think the captain is the last line of defense as far as that fire goal. And Grizz, I said it on one of the previous chats we had. I was backing Klopp, and I just wish he had more of that fire about him. And I deep him, and I don't think he'll ever be that type of manager. So I think it falls down to maybe Klopp's captain to just still spit out a little bit of that fire and that intensity. Because if it's only on Linders, I don't think that's good enough. Because we don't hear from Linders enough. So I just want your thought on the captaincy, and should we just take it off Henderson? Because he's not going to play 90 minutes of every game or a lot of games. So I don't want the armband just going to random different men from random different game. I want it to be consistent, somebody we can get behind even early, to keep that fire going, because I feel like the fire is dying out.
I love you, you know that. I love you. You bring the real topics, and you make me think, and you make me turn all serious. Not many people make me turn serious, because I like to keep it banter and jokey, and then throwing a few serious points. But your points are serious, man. So first I want to shout out that there's 300 of you in here, and people not liked. There's something wrong with you. So can you like the stream? First and foremost, please, everyone like the stream. Secondly, I want to shout out this super chat before we get into this chat. Mark Harris, appreciate the support. He says, Grizz, keeping it real on the streets, Man United fan here. Played under 21s to keep it under 9-1. Love the content. Benny loves you, and the chat bless. Big up yourself every time, Mark, man. I'm not falling for that, man. We need to go to Old Trafford and handle our business, get 3 points, and keep it moving. We ain't here to fall for this. We don't care. We don't care what's going on at Old Trafford, man. We're out here doing our bits, and we got to go there and accomplish our mission. Can I ask you who you would like from our current squad as captain?
My contradict
actually, first and foremost, everything that you said, do you believe that? Are you of the opinion you want Jordan Henderson removed from the captaincy, or is it just a question for the chat and you want to chat about it and then make up your mind?
Nah, I'm fully backing it, and here I'm fully backing it. Mm-hmm. We already knew last season when we got Thiago, if Naby or Oxen was firing the way they could fire, there'll be a toss-up between who started in Henderson's spot with Fabinho and Thiago. And I think a lot of fans would have agreed last season that was the case. Because they have been fired, people are just sticking with what's reliable. But what's reliable doesn't have 90 minutes. And that's Henderson. That's a fact. Like, Henderson can't give you 90 minutes in 30 games. That's a fact. So he's our captain, and we can't rely on him heavily throughout the entire season. Who can? And I think this is when you bring in the young blood of a captain. I think there's no other men other than the scouts, Mr. Trent. I'm not saying put him in midfield. I think he can still read the game from where he's at. But I keep seeing him headbutting Havertz on my YouTube shorts. And I'm like, yo, we need this fire, man. We need somebody with fire, that young blood that, we're ready. I don't care if he's borderline reckless with it, but we need that fire because Klopp, he's a football fan. Great manager. I love him. But he's not going to come out just talk reckless. He's not going to come out and talk fan talk. He's going to put a lid on it. You know, he's going to be like, you know what, guys, let's one game at a time. You know, we still got bills to pay. He's going to tone it down. So if the manager's the tone down guy, who's the turn up guy? I think Robertson wouldn't be a bad shout, but Robertson be on 200%. I don't think a lot of our players can handle Robertson intensity. So I gave it a lot of thought, and it's between Verge and Robbo, but I think Verge is just too relaxed. Robbo is too intense. So I think being young, I think Trent cuts that middle ground perfectly. And that's what I think about it. But no, I'm serious about him, and I think Henderson should have had it off, and it shouldn't be Milner, it shouldn't be VVD, and it shouldn't be Robbo. I think it's time to bring in Trent, Liverpool lad, already got his mural. Let him talk crazy. Let him bring the fight out there. We already know he got the sauce. Let him do his thing. I think it's time for Trent, man. And that's just where I'll leave it.
I'm gonna not let you leave it. We're gonna keep. I'm not gonna let you just leave it there. We're gonna keep digging. And Bilal, feel free to jump in anytime from a neutral point of view. How you see the role of a captain at our club, at a successful club, at a serious club, at a major club, because you will talk. As you listen, you will know where I'm coming from and where I'm going with this. Because you've had some serious captains. And you've had some joker captains.
Jokes, yes.
And right now, you've got a joke of a captain.
Hey, hold off on my boy. Martin, come on.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Yeah, but it's not serious. What I'm saying is you're not serious as a club.
On my team, the armband is not serious.
But go back to the club captain that you had. In fact, let's start from Tony Adams.
Tony Adams, serious guy.
Was he the best player in your team at the time? Was he the most talented? Was he the most glamorous? Was he the most? Yeah, Tony Adams is the baller of this team. He's captain. No, in fact, let me answer for you because it's going to take all night. No.
Of course not, but he had the mentality, and he was the one who was telling everyone what Arsenal was. And the stories about him, grabbing people's necks in the change room. It's a different era. I don't think that's going to happen now.
No.
Grabbing up people and telling them you can't lose today. Games against Tottenham. He's the mentality man in the team. He's the one who sets the tone. He's the one who's willing to go to war. He's the one who's charging first. You need that in your captain. But at the same time, I think in the modern game, the captaincies for many teams, I feel like it's definitely not what it was in the past. It's more someone who's observing the whole team, someone who's managing, the situation. You're the guy who talks to the referee. You're the one who no one else can talk to. You go first, and you're kind of like a daycare guy. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, a captain's role in a modern team is not just one person's.
Yep.
We got a whole heap of captains, Zuberi. We got a whole heap of leaders. We ain't got one captain. We got captains of their national teams. All of these players, so many of them. People can start doing their research. We've got so many captains within our squad. What Jurgen Klopp has liked about Henderson is how he incorporates everything that he sees in a captain. I have an opinion. You only like what you see on the pitch, and you want to see that rubbed off on a captain. In my opinion, you're not seeing the rest of the work around the club that Jurgen Klopp sees in a captain. In my opinion, you're not seeing the mental side of the effect that Henderson, his captain, has on the younger players, the older players, the newer players that Jurgen Klopp sees. In my opinion, you're only seeing what Henderson, struggling to play in that number 8, hasn't got the energy and the fight for 90 minutes, as you said, in 30 games. In my opinion, that's swaying your choice of captain. In my opinion, Klopp don't give a shit about that. He's got 10, 12 other troopers that can handle that side of things on the pitch. He sees them. Thiago's a captain in his right. Fabinho is a leader. Virgil van Dijk is a leader. Robertson is a captain. As you said, Trent is showing. Mohamed Salah is a captain. I think there's many facets of a captain, especially in a club that's run like us from top to bottom. The footballing culture is king at Liverpool. The footballing culture is king at our club. That's why you don't hear of rows, issues between the players, stories leaking out, leaks, all this kind of business. Every new player that we talk about, for example, Nunes comes in and says, Diogo Jota come in. Sorry, he said he spoke about Henderson. Yeah, took me away, explained to me how things work, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Every new player talks. Carvalho talks about how, Henderson was a leader. He told me where it is. There's two different aspects that I think we're swerving or we're conflicting. I get your point about he ain't got that energy that we want to see in a captain. I get it. I don't agree with it. I get it though. Because if he was run down as a player and he could no longer hold himself even in the squad, then yeah, I agree with you. Then the captaincy is no longer, it don't suit him. If he was not picked by Klopp as well, if he's not his first choice, if he's not his lieutenant, then I get it. It looks a bit poor on having a captain that's not even making your 11 week in, week out. But this guy is doing it at the moment. Maybe for one more year, Zuberi. I'm just going to end it now. Maybe it's just for another season. But I ain't about to change Henderson just for another season, captain. Maybe next season. I hear you. I think your case will have more strength next season because he for most certainly will be less of a starter next season. He will automatically be less of a starter, I think, as the season progresses. But I wouldn't change it for this season, especially after the season that we've had last season and the way he's off the pitch, how he handles the press, how he handles the new players, the young players. Even man like Thiago spoke about Henderson. Even man like Virgil spoke about Henderson. Even all these big boys, Mohamed Salah spoke about Henderson. The way these guys speak about Henderson, I'm not about to change him right now. But next season, I think maybe there's a discussion to be had in terms of going in a different direction. If he's still at the club as well. That's just my opinion on things, bro.
Zuberi, before you jump in, I just want to confirm with you guys because you're Liverpool fans. I'm reading an article here. It says last year, Klopp selected 3 new captains in your team, and Mohamed Salah wasn't one of them. Also, this is another thing we're talking about the captaincy in general. It's not one captain anymore. I remember when Emery came into Arsenal, he was getting clowned for having 5 different captains and people voting on it. Seems like Klopp has done a similar thing, but Salah isn't part of these discussions. It's because I know a lot of managers love having a defender or a midfielder. They can see the game more and see what's happening on the pitch. They prefer them to be a captain. But wouldn't Mohamed Salah be a good choice of someone who's going to lead because he's not thinking like Henderson right now. I guarantee you, Salah doesn't care what Tottenham are doing. He doesn't care what Arsenal are doing. He's just thinking about Liverpool doing what he's going to do. But is he too individualistic maybe to be a captain? I don't know. What's your take on that?
No, so real quick, Bilal. No, that's not a bad shout. Salah is a captain for Egypt, I think, before he retired. But captaincy comes down to tenure at the club. Like, you can't disrespect a man times at the club. And I think that's how Trent kind of got it over him. And it's one of those unspoken rule and kind of thing that people try to keep tradition going with. And so it's no slight on Salah whatsoever. It doesn't matter where you are on the pitch. A leader is just a leader. You can lead from the front, you can lead from the back, you lead from the side. You're just a leader. And to that point also, being a leader, Trent is in a perfect moment. Not right now to say take it off Henderson, give it to Trent. I'm talking Grizz. I was more talking like the transition of it. Because it's not going to be something you just take off a man, keep man on the bench, and people just be like, ha, 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 he was captain, now he's just bench. When he's coming off, instead of handing it off to Van Dijk, then Van Dijk coming off, he's handing it off to Milner. Milner picks up and it's going to too many different men. You know, so keep it on a consistent man, and that's why I'm kind of I'm going to be making this argument all year round. By the way, just give it to Trent, and the reason why I'm saying give it to Trent, if we have so many leaders in the team, remember football isn't a one-season thing. Grizz, me and you're going to probably have these conversations 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Henderson's going to be long gone. VVD, like these men are upper 20s and 30s. Trent, with all these leaders. Think about Gerrard when he got it. There wasn't a lot of leader in that team. There wasn't like a lot of talent in that team. And we just stuck it on him and, he kind of just dragged us through the mud. This is a new era. This is new football. Trent has the capacity to be a captain in a team with a lot of captains that can as the captain, you can do this better. As a captain, so he has a lot of role models and a lot of people he can look up to and learn from. So when these players move on, he would have amassed so much experience and know-how from all these different leaders, from all these different nations around the world, to be like, you know what? I can be the greatest Liverpool captain ever. No slide on Henderson. That's my guy. I loved him when Gerrard handed the band off to him. My favorite number in a game is 14. In college, my number was 14. I love Henderson's the bit. I love his energy. But I'm thinking, people are talking about, is he the greatest Liverpool captain ever? Yeah, for now. I think Trent has the ability to just smack that off the table without even question. And that's where I'm kind of going with it, Grizz. So I do hear your point about the other guys, but I'm like, if we already have them there, wouldn't it be more of a testament to them helping creating one of the greatest Liverpool captains ever in Trent? Because Trent have accomplished so much at his age. And to see him with the armband once, and I'm like, man, people are talking about Henderson and lauding him now. Imagine Trent. So that's kind of where I was going with it. And I'm not like trying to strip Henderson. I just don't like seeing it going to Milner, man. I'm just not. When it goes to Milner.
No. Milner's a leader, though. Milner's
no. Milner is a G, but when it goes to Milner, I'm just like, and I'm just like looking at Robbo, and I'm like, I'd rather go to Robbo over Milner. So then when I'm start having these conversations, who I'd rather it go to, and then I remember Trent, and I'm like,
why do you feel like that when it goes to Milner? Explain the process through your body, like in your mind. Why do you feel like that?
So my process with Milner coming on, it depends on which game he's coming on. So I like to give credit where credit is due. If we're up 4-0 and Milner's coming on, I'm cool. I'm calm. I don't care if he got the ban or not. I'm calm. When we're down and we need something new and Milner's coming on, I'm expecting from Milner heavy tackles, tracking back, fighting to the last breath, right? When we're down, that's not really what we're looking for, depending on the game. But if the game requires somebody to stick them tackles in to win the ball early, I can see the game with Milner. So Milner just depends on what part of the game it is. That's how I got Milner in 2022. In 2018, when he was doing his thing in the Champions League, I think he was even pushing the assist record at one point, banging in penalties. I know I was back in Milner. I think Milner's like 3 years past his moment with us as far as being someone we can rely on. And when we got other people unreliable and he's our go-to, it doesn't really leave me feeling joyful. That's where I'm kind of at with Milner. He's not like quite Xhaka level with Arsenal, but I respect him. I respect his career, but I'm just not excited to see Milner. And you know me, it's 2022. I like a little bit of excitement. 1-0 wins, I'll take them all day. It's all about the 3 points. But 2-0 down, Milner coming on, I'll probably stop drinking. I'll probably put out the weed. I'll probably just pack it up. So that's how I feel about Milner, if that kind of paints you a good picture.
We've got a few people that disagreed with you. We've got a couple that agreed with you. I'm just picking out a couple of comments. So Trent has another 10 years. Mutasar says, Trent has another 10 years at LFC. Why give him the captaincy so young when there are more experienced players? Give it to him when he's around 26, 27, which is the age when Henderson got it. Makes sense to you?
So my point to that is Gerrard got it before 26. I know it was a different time, but like I said, my earlier point, he has more leaders around him to help make that transition Like I said, it doesn't have to be imminent, like permanent, you're the guy now. But give it to him in a few games so he can have these moments of being in and around it. I know he's big. I know he's little brother to Henderson now. I think Henderson reports to his mom on his behavior and stuff like that. You know, keeping tabs on him. So he's not really far from it. And people probably just quoting me up on solely on gameplay. But I'm telling you, he's closer to the captain than we even think, in my opinion. Because Henderson is like his big brother.
Kall is a Liverpool fan in the background. Kall, if I bring you on, I'm going to bring you on because a Liverpool fan, because we've got a Chelsea fan waiting, and so we might change this topic. So just for this segment, if you don't mind, Zuberi, I'm going to bring in another Liverpool fan.
No. Yeah, I'd like to hear what you think also.
Cool. Kall, how are you, my friend? Good to chat to you again.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I know you've been waiting a little while in the background, and of course you're a channel member, so you get priority as well. So that's why I bring you on with Zuberi, because of Liverpool debate going on. I hope did you hear Zuberi's point?
Yeah. I was listening to Zuberi.
Let's hear another Liverpool fan's opinion on it.
See, with regard to the captaincy, these questions regarding captaincy, midfield are arising just because of a draw. If Henderson would have scored that goal against Fulham, which hit the pole, no one would talk about this. See, this is just coming after a draw. I've flooded all over social media. Trent has been criticized for the goal Mitrovic scored. Then the midfield with the injuries, why we didn't sign this, why we did not sign that. Okay, one thing I agree, which was that Nunes should have started instead of Bobby. But that again, but I'm backing Klopp because Klopp believes maybe what's his name? Nunes wasn't match fit or he did not gel with the team, so he gave him the benefit of the doubt to Bobby. So other than this, I'm cool. I have nothing to worry about. Even people are saying sign the midfield. No issues. I have full faith in Elliott because we have to give these young players a chance now. See, if you're going to make a Gerrard or if you're going to make a Xavi or Iniesta, they started when they were young. Give the kids a chance to grow. Then you'll know whether he's a legend or he'll be a Jay Spearing.
Fact.
See, I like Ajax. Other than Liverpool, I admire Ajax. Why? Because they give a young player a chance. Look at how many young players have gone through there. So we have to give young players a chance. I'm not saying, okay, but if there is a right player, which Klopp believes, if it is of the caliber of Bellingham, or what's his name, the guy who went to Real Madrid, the French guy, what's his name?
Tchouaméni.
Oh, the guy. If it is that quality, I'm with you. But don't sign anybody just for the sake. Now, Man United is linked to Rabiot. Some people are saying we should sign. What is it? We have to sign players of quality. We are Liverpool. We are not Man United who just make any Tom, Dick and Harry come and play for us. No.
Nick, I'm gonna call you Nick because I like you.
Yeah. No problem. You can call me anything.
And I'm gonna call you Zub. Zub, and be honest with me, because you know me and you, Zub, we've only known each other. We've only known each other for about 3 streams, but I love our connection, and I know me and you can be real with each other, and we can be honest with each other. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and I want pure honesty. And if I see you lying, I'm gonna take you out of the stream like you wasn't even here in the first place. So Nick asked you Nick made a point. He said, in his opinion, your opinion and some others' opinion about stripping him of the captaincy is reactionary.
Bruce, can I just respond before you ask a question? Please. Let me just respond.
How can you respond without I'm asked the question?
Because I feel like I need to respond honestly before you ask the question. Because I don't want you to corner me crazily. All right?
Okay, cool.
Nah, Nick, I'm gonna call you Nick also. You just pulled on my whole argument with one statement about social media. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm a Henderson fan. If that would have went in top bins,
that's a different ball game.
But this is my point, Zubs.
The argument I came with might have got postponed 6 months. Is all I'm saying. The argument might have got postponed 6 months.
This is my point.
That's the point.
So I gotta give you credit for that, Nick. You just pulled on it with one. If it went in, and it's a big if, greatest captain ever. That's what I would say for 6 months.
No, but it's
But
not a
if
big
this
difference.
is
It's a width. It's a width of a post, right?
See,
If that were in, we would not be here having this argument about stripping Henderson of a captaincy.
see,
postponed
another
6
thing
months.
is
Okay, 6
another
months.
thing. See, another thing that I saw Trent getting a lot of criticism because of the defending against Mitrovic. See, if you are having an attacking right back,
Mhm.
if he's going to assist and score, then he's going to be exposed at the back also. No, you cannot have a Superman who can defend with the same caliber and attack at the same caliber. He's a human being at the end of the day. So if you're going to see, it is like this. If you're going to play attacking football, you will be tend to be exposed at the back. Okay, but you increase the chances of scoring as well. So you have to, settle the positive and negatives also and consider that as well. Because see, if Trent gives you a great assist, will be wow, what a player. He's as good as a midfielder. But at the same time, we have to keep that in mind also. And Mitrovic is not a small guy; he's a big bully. It's not like he's a small guy playing there. He's a big bully, and his heading is his strength. So I mean, listen, there's not many right backs in the world. I'm taking up for Trent here. There's not many right backs in the world who would be able to deal with that, especially that cross at the back. Because it's very difficult, that one. So that's my opinion.
Apparently, I'm a bully as well. Like Mohaz is saying, Grizz is using his dictator tactics. Was I being a bully to you guys?
Nah, you almost bullied me though. I had to save you, Grizz. You almost, but I saved you, Grizz. I love you, so I knew you was doing, but I had to be honest. I'm gonna be honest, man.
Yo, what's this, man? This is fascism, Grizz, man. Like, what did I do?
Nah. I don't believe it, Grizz. Nah, I don't believe it, Grizz. Here's the thing, though. You're right, Nick. These are the fine margin that football is played upon. Because when Klopp says, you know what, I should take this player off and bring this player on, but Klopp says, you know what, he might got a moment. He might get one more moment. I'm gonna give him that chance. If he doesn't get that chance, and the whole fans is like against whatever player that is, we're gonna look at Klopp like, yo, why didn't you make the change? And I think I might have been another chat. It might have been this as far as players being above criticism. I've seen a lot of games when Salah didn't do anything for like 65, 75 minutes. And within the last 10 minutes, he pulled magic out of his hat, dumpy a bunch of men and scored 2 goals. No one is talking about that first half. But if Klopp keeps him on and he's just a dead 90 minutes, we're like, yo, why didn't you make the change? So these are the fine margin football is played upon. So I agree with you with Henderson. If he'd scored that banger, I would have been championing him. If he go on to have 2 more stinkers, I'd have been like, nah, get him out of here. I don't want it to get to the Xhaka level where we're booing him, but I just want to see consistency in who gets the armband after he comes off. I just don't want it to be 4, 5, 6 different men. Just give it to Trent. He got the legs. He's going to see out most of the games anyway, unless Ramsey comes on and he gets his moment and he shows us he's reliable to give Trent some rest. But for right now, we know Trent is up there, probably one of the first name on the team sheet. So I'm not writing him off, but I do respect what you say, Nick, man. If he did put that in, I'd have been championing him. And as far as you, Grizz, you're doing a good job being a neutral. I don't want to talk Arsenal, but at some point, they're going to look to Odegaard. If he gets like 10 games and it's 10 good results, they're going to be singing this guy's praise. And football neutral gonna have to step in and be like, yo, let's slow down a bit. It's not about his leadership skills. It's just about the gameplay or the tactics. And we're gonna have to take some stripes off him. But these are the moments football is played on.
But the different levels you're speaking about, and Bilal, we're gonna come to Bilal and maybe give his stance on it. You can't be saying that we're gonna look at Odegaard and say that's how we need to roll. Just because Odegaard's a baller and he's captain for a different reason apart from his leadership. Because there's different levels to the clubs we're operating at. We have a footballing culture from A to Z is uncompared in Europe probably. We may not have everything on point, but the culture we've got on point. And that stems from the captain. Sorry, you might go on, Nick.
Yeah, you made a very valid point. See, captainship for me is not only how good a player is. It doesn't have to be a best player in the team. For me, it is more about how he first of all, how he can lead the team and how he can make the younger players comfortable. Now, I'll just give you an example, bro. It's like now the crisis that we have in midfield. No problem. So I'm happy with it because it gives a chance for my boy Elliot to shine, and he will in most probability start that game against Crystal Palace. So now, just in a situation when he is a young boy, he's playing that game. First game we drop points. There's pressure to get the points. It's at Anfield. So when there is Henderson in the midfield, he will guide him. He will motivate him. He will, give him that guidance. So that is why I feel Henderson's role is very important. I'm not saying that Trent will not do that, but what happens that experience is important as a captain. And what you said, like I remember you made the point about Gerrard getting at a young age, but Gerrard is a different class, man. They don't make Gerrards anymore. Even the market is stopped making Gerrard. You see, Gerrard is a different breed. That guy is different. He's born, he's a different guy, man. Gerrard is a different guy. Even talking about Arsenal, Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira, different class of men. You don't make them anymore. Now, if someone touches you, someone is jumping 2 meters away. It's different. Those are fighters. That they have.
Bilal, what did you make of Zub's sort of comparison to Odegaard? We may have to look over there if the guy's bowling and say, look, we need to bring in a bowler as a captain.
10 wins, Bilal. The context is 10 wins under Odegaard captaincy.
Yeah,
come on, talk to me.
I think Odegaard really, he's captain at Arsenal not because of even how good he is on his day, because there's some games that Odegaard away from home, maybe the physicality is too much. Sometimes he can disappear. I'll be honest and say that. I think Odegaard's a captain because you listen to the team, what they say about him. They say he's a teacher's pet. That's the truth. Ramsdale said he's a teacher's pet of Arteta.
Okay, this is interesting.
He speaks to him in Spanish.
This is interesting. Zub, you might not like this. Go on.
Mm-hmm. Bilal, so they're saying Odegaard, he's a teacher's pet. He's the first one in training, fair enough, and he's the last one out. He always talks tactics with Arteta. They always speak in Spanish at times. Odegaard's been at Real Madrid, knows Spanish. So it's more than just, what he does on the pitch. And then I think Arsenal giving him the armband because he's young, because he offers that maybe tactical intelligence as well, to even understand what Arteta is saying sometimes. Maybe Arteta is giving too much information. Not everyone can handle that. And then you have the other captains in the team, whether for me, I'm not the biggest fan of like a Granit Xhaka. For me, Arsenal needs to upgrade on him. But he's a captain in the team. Regardless of the armband, he's one of the senior players. He's the captain in that team. At the back with the likes of Gabriel, they play every game. Kieran Tierney. These guys are all captains. Zinchenko's now come in. They're older than Odegaard, but they don't have the armband. But clearly they're leading the thing as well. So it's more than just one player. And Zub, you were saying about Henderson, and after the armband goes, and it goes to X, Y, and Z. I think the reason for that is Liverpool have so many leaders in that sense as well. How many people can you choose from? I can give the armband to Robertson. I'm comfy. I can give it to Van Dijk. I'm comfy. I give it to Trent, as you were saying. You're going to be comfy. So for me, it's not a negative point. And I think the whole captaincy thing, in a few years, when Henderson and Milner go and Trent's a bit older, he's going to be Liverpool captain anyway. So long term, I think Liverpool in a good situation in terms of the whole leadership thing. But the Arsenal armband thing is completely different because look at the amount of dead captains Arsenal have had in the past. Aubameyang, to be honest, dead captain. If I go back, guys like William Gallas had the armband, dead. So, yeah, it's different. It's coming from a different context as well, where Liverpool and Klopp built something very solid with leaders and just some men all over the pitch.
What are you saying?
Another thing for me is at this moment, at this given moment of time, especially with a lot of question marks about Henderson's performance on social media and blah, 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 a lot of things. To make this change, first of all, it will be a hot cake for the media and it will be unnecessary, drama over there, which is not required.
100%.
At this moment of time, it's not required. Let us back him, let this phase go. Probably if it has to be done, maybe next year or after that. But right now, I don't think a good manager would ever do that, especially a Klopp. It's putting your own self in trouble in this kind of a situation. Just adding to the fire, which is not required.
Exactly. There's no need to change a captaincy right now. This moment in time, Liverpool are stable, and you just want to keep being stable because that will enable you to challenge. The moment you start tearing things apart, maybe for no reason, things can go in a wrong direction because after that, who knows what's going to happen. But as I said, in the future, I think naturally, this captaincy, the heir to the throne, so to speak, it's going to be Trent. Trent is that guy anyway, and even the position he plays. I know Zub, you're saying like you can be a captain anyway in any position. I think even the position he plays at right back, where he's literally involved in a lot of the game, you can see a lot of the pitch. That's going to just add to everything when he becomes Liverpool's full-time captain in the future.
Guys,
all right. So my last point, and I'm gonna jump off on this. Sorry, Grizz. So the reason why I've given it so much thought, I think it's a cheat code to get Trent to up his awareness. A lot of teams, they try to give people the armband to either make them comfortable, make them love, make them stay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about Trent's awareness, and I'm pretty sure he cares, but at times it looks like he doesn't. I think it could be the cheat code to get him to be more aware, whether he's in the midfield or right back. Because as a captain, you have to know everything that's going on. And if Trent is just like, whatever he's doing, we don't know. But I think it's a cheat code to get him to up his awareness. So, like I said, it's my agenda. I want him to be more aware in the game. It's my guy. I love him. So I want him to be more aware. I want him to be the best there ever is. So I think that's why I'm just championing it. And that's like the last thing I think why I'm saying this. I think it'll up his awareness.
Your closing statement was solid. Solid. You smashed it with that closing statement, because I know exactly what you mean. And I agree with you on that point, because responsibility can make a man and break a man. But I just don't think he's fully a man yet. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Oh, no, you good. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But I like that thinking, that because when the captaincy, because Gerrard was a mad dog. He was a mad dog before the captaincy was given to him. Gerrard would get yellow cards, red cards, he's a whole heap of madness. But captaincy can make you. And I hear what you mean. And I like that point you made at the end. But as far as right now, and stripping him because that ball hit the crossbar and didn't go in, get out of here. Get out of here.
No, that's what Nick said. I didn't say that. That's what Nick said.
No, it's not for you.
So
it's not for you, but I've seen a lot on social media. Just one result, people are like, oh, why we didn't buy this? Why we didn't buy that? Well, you cannot buy 100 players in midfield. How many players you can buy in midfield? See, there is a way.
We have enough. But great.
Our time is bad. You just have to wait for the injuries, for the players to come back. That's it. And wait, hopefully we get Jude. That would be a good signing if he comes. Other than that.
Nah, it's all love, man. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I'm going to jump out. Hey, Nick, no more social media references to my points, okay?
Kill him.
No.
Kill him.
No.
Zubs, it's been a pleasure, my brother. We catch up real soon as usual.
All right, take care, man. Hey, them gunners, you need to miss. You guys are shooting everything down, man. Take care, Galan.
Yeah, take care, man. Take care.
Nick, is there anything else particular you wanted to speak about? Because I really enjoyed your input on that one. But feel free if there's something else, because we want to keep it moving. But talk to me what you want to speak about.
Yeah, today's result, it was good. Good result today, 4-0 Brentford. I mean, yeah, I'm very much happy.
But you know what, Nick, do you know what it is? And I don't enjoy it anymore. Like, it's so normal.
No, you know what is the problem there?
I used to jump on it and go mad and text like the friends and everything, go mad on social media. It's become normal, guys. I don't have no energy for them.
No, listen, you know what is the problem there? The thing with Man United fans, they target only certain players. One of them was Pogba. Pogba used to get targeted for everything, every single thing. That guy, I'm telling you, that guy is a baller. I mean, he has had his fair share of problems, no issues. But everything, Pogba was one guy. Maguire, McTominay, Fred. These are the frequent guys who get pointed out. Today, what's his name? McTominay did not play. Still, the blame came on Fred. But my friend, listen, Ronaldo is a great player. Bruno is a good player. But you can't have two players in your top two who are just walking on the ground as if they come for, just walking. You need players to fight. This is not Mourinho. This is Ten Hag. This is the Dutch system. They don't play football that way. This is a high press. You understand? So you can't
100%.
have two passengers on the field. You know, I mean, you can be one. He's a great player, but you can only have one passenger at max, at best. But what these people, you know, Man United fans, the sad thing is they will never blame these players. Even De Gea made a mistake. They will not point fingers. Still, De Gea made a mistake, but McTominay is bad. Why? Because they want to sign Frankie, and they cannot get Frankie.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you, and you're right. We should be laughing at them even more. But I just find it so boring now laughing at them. They're so average, and they're so, you know, what was Brush saying? Jesus, I joined at the wrong time. Let me come back when United talk is over. Exactly. We just done a whole heap of Liverpool talk, and you missed that, Brush. But Nick just wanted to remind me that Man United are an absolute comedy and an absolute circus at the moment. But Nick, has been a beautiful speaking with you as always. Really enjoyed.
Yeah, same here. Take care. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course, always a pleasure, my brother. Take care of yourself. I'll see you
Take
soon.
care, man. Big up.
Bye.
I love some callers, man. They bring the energy, the right energy, and that's why I needed to bring in 2 Liverpool callers at the same time instead of splitting it up, because I can see a few other clubs, people in the chat in the studio waiting to come on. But people, guys in the studio, just bear with us, man. We got a whole heap of people that are looking to come in. I need to shout out the new channel member, Raymond for Life, Raymond More Life. Sorry, Raymond More Life. Okay,
That's
big up
nice.
Raymond More Life. Yeah, Raymond More Life. Big up latest channel member. Don't forget, people, becoming a channel member makes you top of the list in terms of priority for coming on. We've got a new caller in the building as well. CFC OG, my friend, welcome to the stream.
Yes, brother. How you doing, Aki? You good?
I am doing okay. I'm
There's been
doing.
a lot of energy on today's show, man. A lot of defensiveness towards Henderson.
I mean, look, the thing is, right? So you support Chelsea, right?
Of course.
So let's say someone's out here slandering John Terry, right? Now, John Terry may not have been the most prettiest of players for you guys. John Terry might not have been the most pleasing to the eye, technically gifted. Like Carvalho was, for me, was a machine. You know, was a lot of people said, yeah, Carvalho was the real deal. You know, people say Ivanovic was the real deal. People talk about other partners of like you had what's the Brazilian guy's one, the one who smashed in that free kick. Alex was the real deal. Yeah,
I love Alex. I'm not gonna lie.
But this is my point. But when people, so imagine people but slandering, John Terry, he's finished, he's washed, he's finished, he's washed. I'm sure a lot of Chelsea fans would have defended him with their heart because they know he's the heart and soul. And the manager, every coach that came through your club, and there was a lot of coaches that came through your club, right? A lot of coaches that came through your club. Every coach kept John Terry and made John Terry your captain for a reason. And this is what I hear about Henderson. So many different coaches, players speak highly of this guy, man. So I'm out here defending him, man.
I see where you're coming from, but back in the day, I feel like there was no one ever thought of, we're going to sell John Terry and make money. Especially back then, you wouldn't even get a lot. But you guys might get a good amount for Jordan Henderson right now, right? You don't think so? No one will buy him. Then if you think no one's ever going to buy him for more than 50 mil now, or after the World Cup, if let's just say he has a good World Cup, if you can sell him in January, that'll be like your last chance to ever sell him. After that, you're stuck with him for life. And if Liverpool's happy with that, he's not actually a scout himself, from Sunderland. So the fact that if you're happy with him, knowing that you're never going to sell him and you are going to pay him top wages for the rest of his career, then that's fine. That's what we kind of done with John Terry. John Terry moved him on to, that's because he had a managerial position open with that move. Unless Henderson gets something like that, I don't see him moving. And then
how old was John Terry? How old was John Terry when he left you guys?
Did you know? 34.
Can anybody double check that, Bilal?
You try to say John is not old, basically.
When John Terry joined Chelsea?
When John Terry left Chelsea.
Left Chelsea.
He must have been around 35 now.
Isn't it?
So let's see. Let's check. Anybody know for a fact?
And I don't think there was money involved in that transaction.
No. So this is what I'm coming with. This is what I'm coming.
In the 2016-17 season. So how old was he then? He is 41. Someone do the maths. I don't know how many years ago that is. What's that?
Come on, my
let's
people
say
in the chat, man.
6
How
years.
old was John Terry,
years.
man? Come on, people are slow in
it's
the
like
chat.
5 years to 41.
So how old
Yeah.
was he? So he
he's
was
35,
35.
36.
Yeah, 35,
Right.
36.
So you want to keep Henderson there till 35?
No, I'm telling
Good.
you, I'm using your theory.
His contract lasts until 2025, though. So
Yeah.
he's
So your
32 now.
theory, with John Terry was, yeah, or you haven't used your theory on your last great captain. So your last great captain was John Terry. Lifted every trophy there is to lift. He lifted
And
Champions
as
League.
he's now the second, John. Not but yeah.
Huh?
As
No.
he's up there now. He's similar.
Okay, so as Belaqueta, I'm going to use you on you as well then. Okay, forget John Terry.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
forget
fought with
John
Aspie.
Terry.
We fought with
No,
Aspie. We
John-
decided
no.
we're going to carry him to the end.
So Aspie is going to make my case even more in my book. So I'm going to use Aspie now. John Terry even more. But Azpilicueta is how old now?
33.
Azpilicueta is 33. Azpilicueta was offered at different clubs, but you've decided to keep him. Why have you decided to keep him? Because is he a starting player in your club every week now?
No, but 5 subs helps, but he's not going to start.
Okay. So he's not going to start every week.
Yeah.
He's not what he used to be. Because for me, Azpilicueta was one of the best underrated fullback defenders, call it what you want, of the last decade.
Thank you. You recognize.
Hold on. So Azpilicueta was not what he used to be. Am I right?
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Bilal, would you agree with that? Azpilicueta.
Yeah.
A lot of Chelsea fans that I speak to want Azpilicueta gone. They were like, "Oh, he needs to go, man. We need to get a younger centre back in quick. This guy is legend, but yeah, come on, let's keep it moving." You didn't though, innit, bro?
We didn't.
Why didn't you?
We needed that, security and stability in the back room more than ever. That captaincy, that guy that's gonna carry us.
Yet you here telling me and Liverpool fans the total opposite. Why? You're telling us to sell Henderson.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, what
Henderson's
I'm saying
younger.
is
Let me finish my point now. Because now I got you. Now I need you to think about what you're going to say back to me. So you came here with chest and said, you know what, you mans need to move on Henderson. You know what I mean? There's the last chance you're going to get money. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're stuck with him. We're good with him. Just like you guys were good with John Terry and you let him go on a free. Just like what you're going to do with Azpilicueta. Keep him until he's gone for free. Because legends get to choose when you just walk away at their choice. But you're saying but Jordan Henderson, you're not seeing it with Liverpool and Jordan Henderson. Why, my bro?
I don't know. 2025, he said. So 2 more years, basically. He's going to walk away for free, you think? Or you think he'll do an extension?
It's not about money for us.
The money,
Jordan Henderson.
The money doesn't matter anymore for Henderson.
He won't take a pay cut, obviously.
Like the money Liverpool can get for Henderson, it's not going to really do anything for them. You might as well keep that experience in the changing room and that energy. And
as long as he transitions into that role, then obviously, you're going to see as time unfolds. But I personally do. I'm with your side. I'm telling your fan base that you should decide now whether to keep him or not. But it's obviously up to you guys.
It's good that we just used your player as an example. We could use Vincent Kompany in his last season as an example. He didn't play every game.
I think he got done dirty.
But then why do you want Jordan Henderson to be done dirty?
I'm not gonna lie. Personally,
is there an agenda? Is there an agenda here?
Yeah, if Jordan Henderson leaves, it's better for Chelsea, fam. You guys lose that stability, as you just said.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You got it. How do you feel about this Monday night game, man? Playing on Monday. Sometimes I feel like, why is it a Monday night game? That's so random.
Forget about us. I want to talk about you, man. You're a Chelsea fan.
No, tomorrow. Bro, tomorrow's going to be boring. Everyone's hyping our game. It's going to be 1-1, boring. Everyone's going to be like, why do we hype it? It was just a typical boring German, Italian meets each other. But hopefully we win. We sneak it. We always usually do. But I don't think we will this time.
Yeah, you're worried about Tottenham now, Kane, Son.
Yeah, and the bridge is not how it used to be, bro. Not at all, man. Not at all.
Ever since Nketiah was enjoying last time. Was it a few months ago? Yeah, ever since Nketiah went there, it's not the same.
Yeah. You don't even rate Nketiah, don't lie, man. I don't even know any
No,
Liverpool
I
fans,
rate
but-
I rate Nketiah. I think he's becoming a top striker here. Yeah,
But how are you
honestly,
feeling? How are you feeling for tomorrow, though?
honestly, I don't even want to say the word confident, but it's almost like I'm sadly looking forward to a 1-1, I guess, because I just feel that's what it's going to be. And I've seen everyone's prediction. No one said a draw. I haven't heard one person that said a draw. Everyone's going either way, 3-1, 2-1. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Those games are usually the most boring ones where they have the most hype. But it is like, if Tottenham lose, then the whole Tottenham thing, the whole narrative of Tottenham changes. That's one thing. If Chelsea lose, we really have to spend 350 million. Forget 300 million. That's nothing.
Why do you have to spend?
You guys are wasting money.
Yeah. Now,
well,
can I ask a question?
And we want to get Fofana, and then if we buy anyone else,
Okay, so tell me.
the back as well, randomly.
Okay, so your manager.
Tuchel.
Are you a fan of him?
I am, brother. I'm not gonna lie. I believe that he needs at least 2 more years before anyone could start questioning him.
Whoa, 2 more years.
It's like Klopp. No one said, in the first year, he didn't do enough, and then let's get rid of him. Like this is Tuchel's new start with a new manager, with a new chairman, Todd Bowley. Mm-hmm. So just give him time, man. Let's not just throw him under the bus, like.
So last season you were supposed to compete for the title, right? After you bought Lukaku, after finished Champions League.
Yeah, you are right. But
funny
because imagine we won one of the cups.
No problem. Last season was a bit of a problem because of the ownership and everything, right? No problem. This season, what are your expectations after spending 300 million and having the great coach, one of the top 5 coaches in world football? What's your expectations?
Well, the obvious minimum's top 4. That goes without saying. I would like top 2, really. Let's see what happens if someone does fall off. And obviously, I want a trophy, preferably the FA Cup. It's been eluding us recently. I'm like, how come we haven't won it? We've been to so many FA Cup finals back to back. We need one FA Cup just to break that. So there you go.
Let's say you don't win a trophy and you finish 5th. Tuchel's not under pressure. His job's not in danger.
Then you have to look at the context of it. If it was, we can have easily won 4th, but we flopped, then yeah, he's under pressure. If it's, no, the 4th team and the 5th, they all played, if everyone barely lost a game and barely draws, and it's a really competitive league, then it's in context. But if like this season where Arsenal threw it away, then obviously I'll be gunning for Tuchel.
Bilal?
But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, for me, Chelsea, I'm confused as to what's going on at Chelsea right now. Aubameyang, I know Tuchel. I remember a time Aubameyang was beefing, I think Arteta Arsenal like a while back, and then they were saying Tuchel wants him then. And obviously the Borussia Dortmund connection, of course, is there. But that's not a sign-in that. Why do you want Aubameyang? Ronaldo was another one, Todd Bowley one. I don't think Tuchel wants none of that Ronaldo business. But then now they're talking about a world record fee for Fofana. Listen, Fofana had a leg break. He's coming back from injury today. Listen, he's a good defender, but Martinelli have ripped him easy, light work. You can't spend 80 million plus on somebody who's not fully developed as a top centre back. He's still potential. And Cucurella, how much was that? 60 million?
He's good. Leave Cucurella out of this.
No, he's I rate him, but for the price, it's ridiculous. Man City champions, they didn't want. Yeah, I feel like Chelsea right now, I'm not too sure. I feel like they're spending a lot of money and it's not really pushing their squad that much better than even the last few seasons. So we'll see how it works out. Sterling for me is a good signing. You need that kind of ilk of player and that kind of price range is perfect. But after you're spending big money on players who still with question marks, are they really top?
I don't want Fofana now.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting, man, how you guys like don't see Tuchel under pressure, man. I thought this season he's going to be under huge pressure to do something, man. You spend a lot of money.
Do you think he thinks he's under pressure?
I think he's got this season. But do you think he realizes something? He has to. He's at Chelsea. He's going to have to. He
seems to be happy in all these background videos.
Maybe because Roman is gone, and Roman's pressure was different. It's not the same as.
It's his new young girlfriend, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely, totally different. But bro, give us your prediction for tomorrow. What do you think? Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. I'm saying 1-1, but you know, I don't know if I should say inshallah we win 2-1, but 1-1. That's what's gonna happen. He's finally gonna get that goal. He needs to open his account.
You're not confident winning. You're not confident winning tomorrow at home. They got a shit record there, man. You guys gonna smoke them.
Don't lie to me, Grizz. What do you think? What do you think then? You think we're easily gonna win?
No, but I'm not a Chelsea fan. I'm not gonna come with Chelsea.
Yeah, but last season I knew we were gonna win.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Those three games, I was like, oh, we're gonna beat those 3 games in between. We got them. This time I'm like, uh-oh. And Conte knows us a bit, man. That's why. Yeah, we're gonna see. I think it's a 1-1 draw. But thanks for having me on, bruv, man. You guys are safe, man. I'll try to come again. I got myself a little channel as well, CFCOG. Tomorrow I'm going to the game anyway. I'm gonna do these little vlogs, little uploads of what's happening. Try not to get bottled. But it's a calm one at the bridge, man.
Nice one. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, brother, man. Take care, man.
Nice
the game.
Take care. Yeah, man. I think there's Chelsea people that don't think that their manager's under pressure. I think they're deluded, man.
It's too much money to not be under pressure. Like that alone, the money they're spending in this window, the season they had last year, not really challenging for the league, kind of getting sucked into a top 4 battle. If Arsenal and Tottenham didn't play each other, you never know what could have happened in that top 4 race last season.
I get all the drama surrounding the ownership, and he gets a pass for that, 100%. You know, but
it's gone now.
It's gone now. This season,
it's gone now. You can't have that excuse anymore. Yeah, no way.
Exactly. We're going to bring in the next caller. He's been waiting a fair while. We've got 2 callers that I'm going to let in more. Jazza, I see you, bro. But John's going to be in first, and I've got 2 others waiting. I'm not sure, guys. I'm going to be able to get you in today, but let's see how it goes. John, you're very welcome, my friend. How are you?
Not bad, Grizz. Thanks very much for having us on. Really appreciate it, mate.
No problem at all. No problem. What would you like to speak about?
I've seen rival fans getting a wee bit too excited about Liverpool losing against Fulham. We're 1 game into the season.
We didn't lose.
Sorry, drew against Fulham. We're 1 game into the season. Are you having a laugh? I seen rival fans saying that Man United was going to challenge Man City. They're sitting bottom of the table right now. There's no other team in this league that's going to challenge Man City than Liverpool. Granted, Arsenal are doing pretty well at the minute.
We're not in that conversation.
No, they're not.
Nowhere.
They're not.
Yeah, nowhere near.
But they are doing pretty well. They've actually shocked me how well they started this season. Spurs are doing okay, but there's only one team that's going to challenge Man City. That's Liverpool. Anyone thinks different is deluded.
I agree 100%. I think Liverpool are the only team right now capable of challenging. Actually, you know what? I was saying it the other day. I said Tottenham. This is my debate. I said if Kane and Son were in any other top 6 team, will we not be talking about them challenging for the title like fully? But I think it's just because it's Tottenham and the history of Tottenham that we end up, not disregarding them and themselves. I feel like the mentality of them. Maybe they feel like, Tottenham fans I've been talking to, they don't feel like they should challenge, even though they've got a world-class manager, a solid squad, and maybe the best front 3 in the league. So I don't know. Maybe they should be an outside force. Yeah, I'm just saying. Maybe they should be an outside force to challenge. But the fans.
I agree with you, but I don't think Kane is off the level that he was maybe a few years ago.
I still think he's top. I think him and Haaland, the top 2 strikers in this league. Kane always in August, I don't know, it seems to not be able to score. But after August, he starts firing. I don't know. I just feel like Tottenham, if it was any other team with those kind of caliber of players up front, you'd be talking, if Man United had them players, for example, could you imagine the gas and the social media and the fans and the noise that would be spoken about with these players? So I don't know. That's an outside shout. And I think tomorrow we'll have, I don't know what's your opinion on the Tottenham-Chelsea game. I think tomorrow we'll have an idea. If Tottenham can beat Chelsea, which they haven't done really at Stamford Bridge, I think that will give us an idea that, okay, maybe this year they're serious.
I think Spurs win that one easily.
You think they'll win easily?
Chelsea team at all.
Yeah.
I actually don't rate the manager. I think the manager's probably slightly overrated.
Interesting.
So what's he actually won in his career?
He's won the Champions. He
Champions
won the
League.
Champions League, John.
Was that his squad?
That's what makes it more impressive, John.
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
Okay.
Actually, but that's what takes the glare off it, because it was not his squad.
I'm not his biggest fan, but
this is his squad now, and he hasn't done anything with his squad.
Who do you rate? Who's your top 5 managers?
Yeah.
The top 2 is Klopp and Pep.
Okay.
Whatever you want. You
No problem. Fair.
Kante is up there.
Fair.
Yeah.
I want to say Tim Hag before he went to United.
You can't say that.
He hasn't proven it in the top league yet, you know.
No, he hasn't. But I
Yeah, the great seat.
I think he's a quality manager.
Yeah, no, of course he's a quality coach. I don't know about manager. He's a quality coach. He's showing that.
But then of course you've got Kall. He's always going to be a quality manager.
Who?
Kall Ancelotti.
Oh yeah.
Talking in the world, yeah. Said he's going to retire actually today.
Always be up there.
Yep. There's a shout for Ancelotti. There's a shout for Hansi Flick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a shout for Mourinho.
I think Mourinho's still up there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Really?
I think he's still up there.
Inzaghi's been decent at Inter as well, to be fair.
Yeah, he's done a very good job so far. Very good job.
I actually think there's a shout where I don't know what you think. Would Graham Potter do a better job at Chelsea than Hing is doing at the minute? I think Graham Potter at Chelsea would be amazing.
That 3 at the back Potter has is different. The possession, the passing, the positions they pick up. They lost Bissouma and Cucurella, but look at the system. Look at the way they played. They don't skip a beat. Graham Potter's, he needs to manage England. Forget. Maybe it's harder to implement his system in the national team, but in the future, he's got to be the England manager at some point. He's probably the most talented.
Money had to show why not to Graham Potter. He missed a trick there.
He could have been good. Potter at Man United. That's definitely a shout, but the name, it's not that big name like Ten Hag.
No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't come down to the name, should it? It should come down to how good it is as a manager.
Yeah, but it's Man United we're talking about there. The name is important first, then after that they'll think about the football. So
of course, but that's where they went wrong. They've always went after a big name because it's the name.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about the fucking name. These are shit.
Listen, this is how that's
get a decent manager in and work from the ground up again. Because you're all that's going to happen at the minute is you're ruining the football club. Now I fucking hate Man United with a passion as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
You cannot argue that is a big club. And they're ruining that club at the minute.
100%. The reputation of the club over the past 10 years diminished. Players like Frankie de Jong 10 years ago probably jumped to go to Man United. Now they're thinking, I'm just going to stay at Barcelona, not even get paid my proper wages and wait for something else. It just shows the sign of the times, you know. And if you're a Man United fan, it's sad for them.
John, let me ask you one question. If Jurgen Klopp was to lose his job, whether he left or whether whatever happened, who would you like to be the next Liverpool manager?
That's a hard one, that. That is a hard one.
Mm-hmm. We know not Tuchel.
No, I wouldn't have anywhere near Liverpool. Oh, I generally wouldn't. I would give Pep Linders a go.
Yeah. He's putting our books out there. Like, he looks like he wants a senior role. He talked about how Arteta actually wanted him as his assistant at one stage when he was joining Arsenal. I found that interesting.
Steven Gerrard, but it's too early for Stevie.
No. Listen, Gerrard is not the level for Liverpool. I'm sorry. As a manager, I know it sounds good, but it would end in tears. That's my opinion. It wouldn't.
I think it's too early for him. I don't want Stevie to come to Liverpool and ruin what happened as a player.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd ruin anything, but I just feel like challenging for the league, and I feel like Gerrard's just not at the level. I remember those talks about Julian Nagelsmann at one point. Also going to buy in now, maybe being a potential. You never know; it could still happen in the future. So maybe
I think he's been groomed to be the next manager.
Yeah.
I think you can see by everything they're pumping out about Pep in this, the book, everything else.
Yeah.
He talks an awful lot, which is unusual for a number two. Number twos don't really come out in the media and talk that much.
Yeah. Can you guys refresh my memory on Pep Linders? Like, did he not leave Liverpool for a bit and go manage?
He went the
Dutch side. He went to the Dutch league, tried his hand, and then I always knew that he's going to come back. Honestly, I can't explain it. I had a feeling he's going to come back.
Klopp never wanted him to leave.
Yeah,
I knew his job wasn't done,
and
I kind of knew that he's going to come back, and he came back, and he's been magnificent. One of the best number twos around in world football right now. Absolute no doubt about it.
Well, then you always have the trouble. Does a number two make a great number one?
Yeah.
That's the only worry I have. There's not many number twos that went on to be a brilliant number one.
Yeah, good point. It is true. It is true.
But I think what they're doing, I think that's what they want to do. They want to make Pep the next in for Klopp. But thankfully, we've got another 4 years before we even think about that.
Yep. Look, we've got Mohammed, who's a Villa fan. He says, I'm a Villa fan, and Stevie's still a huge risk. His record for us is very questionable.
I think you need to give Stevie time. I've argued this point with so many people.
We've got Arsene Gunner saying not enough respect for Gasperini.
Yeah, Gasperini is good, but a bit too idealistic sometimes. Even the Champions League games, so attacking. But the defense was just looking so open. But attacking wise, yeah, Atalanta they play some good football. Some of the best in Italy. So yeah. Just
going back on the Villa fans point. My second team is Rangers. I live in Glasgow. I've seen the job firsthand with Steven Gerrard did with Rangers. You need to give him time. He's only in his first season. Forget about that half a season last year.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. There's not many managers that come in to a job like that halfway through a season and do anything really well.
He's Van Bronckhorst right now. Do you not think he's taken it to another level?
Van Bronckhorst?
Yeah, do you not think he's pushed Rangers?
Van Bronckhorst is doing well, but there's still a lot of doubts out on him. There's a lot of Rangers fans that actually doubt that he's going to be successful.
Yeah, well, from what I saw last season, it looked good. It looked promising.
Yes, he did. But in the league, he was very inconsistent.
Yeah, Celtic doing that. Yeah, it was mad. Yeah, them old firm games. Celtic were. It was weird watching it because I'm watching Rangers 1 week in Europe. I think okay, very good, beating Dortmund and the likes, and they go play Celtic. They're getting just bullied a bit. I was like, yeah, it's interesting how those sort of things happen in football.
You think Rangers should have won that Europa League, the Europa League final?
Yeah, it was penalties though in the end, didn't it?
It was Ryan Kent miss.
Yeah,
100%. John, thanks very much for your time, my brother. We're gonna try to wrap this up very shortly. I've got a few more people that want to come in.
As always, Chris, thank you very much for having us on. Appreciate
no problem, my friend. Take care. Nice one. Look after yourself. Take care, my brother.
Good chat.
Okay, we've got Jezza's in the chat. I'm going to bring in Jezza now. My friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just got a little throat problem, so just forgive my voice. But yeah.
What's going on?
No, I mean, we also had a disaster class today, so there's no need to rehash that. I think you guys will be comfortable for Monday. I think drawing the game, being 5 points behind, you guys will be fine come Monday night. I think the atmosphere on Monday night, I think, like you said on the Big Six that there's Liverpool haven't had that quick blitz start where you guys used to just wipe teams within the first half an hour. And I think that's going to be the case. I think Palace, though they look good, they might be a bit undercooked. If they stay in the game, let's say until half an hour, 45 minutes, then different story. That's when it'll get nervy. But I mean, I've got Salah captain for my FPL, so I think it's going to be a comfortable night.
Oh, shit. I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know that, man. You shouldn't have done that, man. Fuck's sake, man.
Yeah, you must drop your fantasy code in the comments, Chris, because I missed it. I don't know. I can't find it anywhere.
fantasy code for my league is locked off. Why?
Uh,
Why? 3,500 teams have entered it. How many?
yeah.
3,500 teams.
No stress. No stress. I just wanted to make
madness.
it a quick one.
It's a madness, man. I'll drop it in. But you're going to be a week behind already, so there's no real because you don't get your points carried off. You do know that.
No, if you join a league, even if you started from the beginning, it still counts. To my knowledge.
I don't think it. I was speaking to my friends because I missed the first week for one of my friends, and they said, "Oh, you missed the week. You're not going to get the points." So I don't know. I'm 100% to be honest.
It's to the league holder's discretion.
Oh, okay.
So it's not fair. You understand?
No problem. No problem. Anyway, that's not why.
But, that's wild, man. That's wild. Look. I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be okay. And the reason why I said it on the Big Six in terms of the atmosphere, it's good you said it. It's the atmosphere. It's not a myth, is it? People talk about the atmosphere. It's not a myth, is it?
I've never been, but like whenever you have a Liverpool game, especially on the Champions League nights, like on the soundbar, always if I'm watching a Liverpool game, like last year when I was watching Inter versus Liverpool, I would have to turn the sound down when the crowd were upward and when you were scoring. And then if it became a little bit flat, I couldn't hear the commentators. So then I'd turn it up and my mom would shout at me. Like, so it's not a myth. It's not a myth. I'm sure it's a real thing. Many coaches, many players. I mean, the 4-0, the Barcelona 4-0, that just...
Legendary. But let's talk about your team, man. We need to...
Chelsea, right?
Yeah. How you, Bilal? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Talk to me. Tomorrow's a huge... Bilal, sorry, give me 1 second, Bilal. You guys crack on. Give me 1 second.
All right, cool. No, tomorrow is looking mad. Like Tottenham, normally for Chelsea, it's easy, but I don't know. Conte, they could get a win at Stamford Bridge. That'd be mad for them, and maybe show where they're going and where Chelsea potentially are going as well.
For me, I think what's crucial is it's the first time game of the season, and last year we were terrible at it. We beat Tottenham 4 times. They have that kind of mental block when they come to our place.
Yeah.
So I'm still pretty confident. I'm sure Grizz is listening in the background, but my thing is the game is won and lost with Tuchel's team selection. Because out of the 4 wins, when we played a 4-2-2 on the ball, and then without the ball, we played obviously the normal 3 or 5 at the back, 3 in midfield, etc., and the 2 up top. That was really, really nice, especially because we had Ziyech in his preferred position, up wide, hugging the touchline. And then when we won the ball, he would come inside, link with Mason, and you'd still have Reece wrapping around. So I'd like to see something similar. I think that's the only way we beat them. I can understand if he doesn't want to start Ziyech in that position. And it will probably be unpopular for Chelsea fans because nobody really likes seeing Reece James in a back 3. On the right-hand side, whether it's with or without.
As a centre-back.
Because that's how we beat them last season.
Yeah, they were talking about Dumfries maybe going to Chelsea. So if that happened, maybe that would be a thing going Reece James to centre-back.
I can't see Dumfries because Dumfries is going to want to come in and start, but he's not going to start above Reece James. It's a World Cup year. Does he really want to be competing with Reece James? I think he would want to be settled. On top of it, it's a lot of money. And I mean, obviously, we're going to pay big bucks for Fofana. He was clapping, saying goodbye to the Leicester fans today. The Frankie de Jong situation seems to be like an opportunistic thing for Chelsea. And I mean, Man United, Brentford did us a big favor today, slapping Man United, because regardless of his relationship with Ten Hag, they got slapped by Brentford today. Next weekend, they're going to get slapped by Liverpool. I don't think that's really going to be appetizing, regardless of whether they have a face-to-face meeting. But I think if we were to go, let's say, for argument's sake, with the back 3 like we did last season in the last home game, where Ziyech scored the curler, Reece James, Thiago, Koulibaly, and we have Ben Chilwell, because even though I think Corella technically and in terms of build-up is going to be a lot better for us than Chilwell. But our attack is dead. Our front 3 is dead. And Chilwell is a bigger goal threat than Cucurella, both for assists and goals. We saw that for Brighton last season. So I think he can be someone who comes off the bench with his engine. I mean, his little cameo against Everton. I know some Chelsea fans went overboard, but it was just, I loved Alonso, but Cucurella is a huge upgrade. A huge upgrade. Especially Chilwell coming back from injury. He's not going to be able to handle a 90 minutes against the Conte side. Our midfield, again, yes, it's a bit flat. That's why I'm hoping and praying that the FDJ situation lands in our favor.
Yeah.
And obviously Kovacic is injured, who was supposed to be back now, but he's had a setback, so he's definitely not going to be playing. So that's a downfall. And then obviously the usual, we'll have Havertz, Sterling, and Mount. But for me, it's that right-hand side where Sessegnon is, because that's how we cooked them last season. We had Ziyech in the right wing-back role when we were without the ball, and he would become a winger or a 10. That's when he scored the curler, because Reece James came flying in behind him. Everybody's attention ran to Reece James, and Ziyech put it in the top corner. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Ziyech, because his mind is not necessarily with us at the moment. He's one of the players that are tipped that they want to be out. But it can be someone like, and I know, Grizz, this is not your favorite, but someone like Loftus-Cheek. He was tried there. He came in clutch for us in our semi-final against Crystal Palace. He scored a goal. And when it comes to Tottenham game, he will get it. And I think we have enough players in our side who will get it. And I think with everything we went through last season, the Stamford Bridge faithful, I don't think they will allow. There we go.
Yeah, it's your lineup against Everton. The attack for Chelsea. Yeah, go on, Chris.
Go on. I was going to say, it's an amazing record they've got at Stamford Bridge with Spurs. Whether you're in the ascendancy or they're in the ascendancy, you're the form team there. Whatever happens, you guys don't lose to them. In fact, they barely get a draw. Like, you guys end up winning all the time over there. Mm-hmm. I've tipped Spurs to win tomorrow. I actually think Spurs can. I think Spurs will go there. I don't know, Bilal. I don't know what you think. It's a tough one.
This is mental for Tottenham. I think if it's just football team versus football team in terms of what they've been doing the past few months, Tottenham should win the game, really and truly. Where Chelsea have looked disjointed at the back, attacking wise, we don't really know what's going on there. Tottenham should win this game, but again, it's just a mentality. Can Conte break the maybe psychological traps that they have in their brain, crush them, and get this team to beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge? Because if they do, I think that's going to be so big for Tottenham in terms of them going into the rest of the season, especially early on in the season. If they can get that win at Stamford Bridge, it's been massive. But if they don't, let's say they lose, I think that's going to be really hurt. It's going to hurt them a lot, considering what they've been building as well. So I think this is a big game. And people are saying, I don't know what you guys' opinions are. I know people say it's early in the season, doesn't really matter what happens sometimes. I think this sets the tone really for these two team seasons, especially when they're very close to each other. You don't really know which way both teams will go.
I think for me, that number 7 on the screen, that number 7 over there, no, I think he's been mismanaged in the sense that you hear like KDB, for instance, he doesn't necessarily do all the training at City. Yes, he looks a bit overweight and stuff, but when it comes to match day, he does the business. And I think Kante, with a World Cup year coming up, he needs a little bit of cotton wool around him. If the team are running doggies, he's the last person that needs to run doggies. We know how fit he is.
Yeah.
Obviously, with his religion, he's going to be on the straight and narrow. So it's not going to be like a Jack Grealish situation or a Wayne Rooney situation where they need to be running those doggies. But I think for me, he's, like Tuchel said, like most fans might not realize this, but the Conte season where we won the league, the Champions League when Tuchel was in, like Tuchel said, he's our Mo Salah for us. Mm-hmm. I believe if he has an 8 out of 10 game, maybe even a 7 out of 10 game, and depending on the others around him, if he has an 8, 7, 10 out of game, then I think we'll nick it. I'm still very, very confident because our record, for us, it's only Tottenham. Yes, the rivalry compared to Tottenham and Arsenal is not as steep, and for a derby, form and everything goes out the window. I think where Tottenham might hurt us is after the 75th minute, because they are definitely a lot fitter than we are. You saw that last week. Like, we died, came in the 65th, 75th minute. We died. But I think in terms of options off the bench, they might have options off the bench such as Perisic, Richarlison, you know. Basuma can also come off the bench for them. But we've also got quality coming off the bench. I would take a 1-1 draw. I would take a draw, but I so badly want to win this game. So badly. Because the way Tottenham fans, I mean, I'm seeing so many Tottenham fans now on my timeline, like even in South Africa. You can't be seeing Tottenham fans in South Africa. Like, they're all just coming out of the dungeons, like out of nowhere. So, yeah, I badly want to win this one tomorrow.
It's mad because, you know, it's always interesting to hear about rivals and rivalries like in different countries, and the way you're saying, like, you know, you're suddenly seeing Spurs fans coming out. It's mad. It's interesting, you know. But I was to ask you, like, in terms of a rivalry for you personally, who is your biggest rival? Like, what's that game? Is it tomorrow's game, that the one that you maybe look forward to and don't look forward to in case you lose it as well? You don't get once.
The first fixture I always look for is the first one. And I think it's because growing up, like, it was so painful to watch, especially when we lost Jose, is United. Like, I loved, like, long may it continue. Whatever's going on there, long may it continue. But growing up, going to school, I mean, everyone's a United fan. I mean, yes, they're the biggest club in the world, but I can tell you now for free, like in South Africa, it would go United, Liverpool, and then Arsenal before you even look at Chelsea. So, like, everybody was a United fan at school, you know, and that was horror show. And I have a lot of United fan friends. Liverpool, because my pops also supports Liverpool, so I always look for that one.
Big up pops every time.
But
the older generation there, they love Liverpool, man.
Big up pops.
And then, but I would say I look for the United fixture first, and then the Arsenal one.
Really?
Because the Arsenal one, because you would have Arsenal friends at school, and under Wenger, when they had Ramsey, Wilshere, Ozil, Sagna, Nasri, like, they used to play such lovely football but do nothing. And around those times, I'd say 2011, 2012 to about 2015, it would be boring Chelsea. 1-0 to Chelsea, 75th minute, John Obi Mikel comes on. And that would always get labelled at you.
Yeah.
So I'd always look for the Arsenal fixture.
I remember 1-0 between Arsenal and Chelsea one time at the Emirates. Such a stinky affair because of Mourinho. And honestly, Chelsea's one of them games. I don't even want to look at that game when I see it on the fixture list more often than not, honestly.
But Grizz, people don't realize. Sorry to cut you off there, Bilal.
No, that's fine.
We've always been slapping Tottenham up when you look back at it. From Conte's season when they were in Wembley, Marcus Alonso, free kick after free kick, scoring braces. We had them in the FA Cup semi-final under Conte. Matic scored screamer. We've all seen that meme of Kurt Zuma's reaction.
It was a banger.
And then you go into a transition season under Sarri. We used to slap them up again. Then we had the transfer ban, and we had old Frankie Lampard with the kids, home and away again. And then you have last season. Yes, they only had Conte for the 3 out of the 4 games, and it was still fresh. But it was still, like, convincing. You know, like, even players like Timo Werner scored their first goal against Tottenham. And that was in the... So for me, like, it's... I'm worried for that last 15 minutes. If the game is still, like, neck and neck, or if you're 1-0 up or 1-0 down, and it hits 75 minutes, that's when I want to see game management from Tuchel and our senior players like Thiago Silva, Kante, Jorginho. If we can break up play like Chelsea normally do, then I think we'll be fine.
I think it's going to be such a game. I'm really looking for the time. And as a neutral, honestly, as a neutral, 2 top quality coaches, 2 coaches that are absolutely all about tactical discipline. And I know that usually means a boring game when you get 2 coaches that are so intent on making it a tactical game. Neither of them are spontaneous coaches, right? Neither of them give the freedom of the attack or freedom, to the attack to do what they want, interchange with their positions. No, they all have. They're very big on positional attacks, as opposed to interchanging and whatnot. I think it's going to be entertaining. I genuinely think. I know everyone's thinking. I don't know what you guys are thinking in terms of scores and whatever. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be entertaining. It's going to I think the atmosphere is going to be great because Chelsea have got this feeling of siege mentality at the moment. Yeah, and Spurs going to want to put this record right, and Conte is the man to go there and put this right. He's going to have a bone to pick, man. Like last season, you guys, he would have hurted with that loss.
4 times. He lost 4 times.
4 times.
It's mad. It's not happening for the 5th time. He's not losing there tomorrow.
That's what I feel. Yeah, that's what I feel as well.
I don't know, Grizz. Look at their defense, though. Romero, yes, I rate him. Good player. Still a young player. However, I would say he's a bit rash at times. And when I say rash, I don't mean like Khanage rash, where Khanage, slide tackle, he's got the ball. I mean like Kurt Zuma, Bozo Jean rash. He could give away a penalty.
I hear you.
I look at Eric Dyer and Davies, and then you look at an unproven Sessignon and Emerson Royale. Now, I know Conte. He turned Victor Moses. Victor Moses came back from loan, I think from Liverpool or something silly. And he turned him into a really, really top right wing back. However, I just think if Tuchel's as good as we Chelsea fans think he is, he should win that game tomorrow. With the players that he's got currently, forget who's coming in. But speaking of attack and coming in below, I heard you throwing some shade on Aubameyang, sir.
Yeah,
Why are we throwing shade on Aubameyang?
I'm throwing shade because if Lukaku didn't work last season, Aubameyang is not working at Chelsea. Honestly, Aubameyang in terms of general build-up play offers nothing, and it gets less and less each season. I can't remember who Barcelona were playing last season. It might have been Real Sociedad. Aubameyang scores a goal in the box, a little header, but he had one of the worst performances I've ever seen throughout the 90 minutes. Barcelona only won 1-0. And during his time at Arsenal last few months, there was a lot of time he was just being dropped not because of his discipline, because the guy's offering nothing. Even Lacazette is doing a lot more to the team. And now we can see obviously with Jesus and even Nketiah, just a bit of movement, a bit of link up, a bit of energy, like fully. And you're seeing a difference in how the team actually plays. I feel like Aubameyang is not. I feel like just give Broha a chance. That's what I feel like. Where's Broha? What's going on?
See, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I think if they want a short-term fix, and until someone who's not available now becomes available, and Kunku probably, I think Aubameyang's perfect for Chelsea. That's just
perfect.
Just my opinion. Short term for one-off, 1 year, man. Trust me. That guy's got no loyalty, obviously, so he don't care about all of that business. He's going to want to. In fact, it could work in Chelsea's favor. He's going to have a point to prove. He's going to want to come. I think they need someone who's not going to be involved in the play. It's just goal scorer. He's going to get a chance and scores goals, and that's Aubameyang for you.
That's what Lukaku wanted to do. It didn't work. That's what I'm trying to say. Lukaku did it. I know he's a big guy, but the guy he's not really a target, man. He wants it in behind. He wants to just be in the box.
Lukaku's game intelligence is not on the same level as Aubameyang's.
Yeah, I mean, Aubameyang is scoring in our Clásicos, and he scored a lot of goals for Arsenal in such a short space amount of time. Don't forget,
Don't get me wrong, they messed up today. Don't get me wrong, I'm so happy to see them fuck up today. They drew 0-0 versus Vallecano, Rayo Vallecano. Everyone's talking about Barcelona making these signings.
I was watching PSG.
Yeah. So they're not doing bits, but tomorrow's game, guys, man. I think let's end it now on a score prediction, man. It's a great game to have a prediction for. I think my prediction's out there in the social media circles. What's you used to saying? Bilal, you go first while Joseph thinks about it.
Okay, I'm an Arsenal fan here, but I'm predicting. You know what? I'm going 2-0 Tottenham. I'm going 2-0. They're going to keep a clean sheet. Get 2 goals, stink it out. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. If Tottenham can't do it this time, they're never going to do it. That's what my thinking is. They have to beat Chelsea. If they don't do it today or tomorrow, rather, it's never going to happen. So that's just what I'm thinking.
I don't know if they're going to keep a clean sheet because like I said, in all the times we've been slapping them up, we've scored a lot of set pieces against them. I mean, Thiago Silva scored 2 goals against Tottenham by a set piece. Rudiger used to score by a set piece against them. But I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. And the goal they score is their own goal.
Grizz,
Something goes on. I'm
prediction.
not confident in Mendy right now. Mendy's giving me, I've reached the top. And not that I'm the Don Dada, but like,
He has mistakes.
you know, like it's not like when Neuer was at the top, he maintained it. His age has just declined him. But the standard, the routine, but Mendy is flapping for things, and I'm hoping the young goalkeeper that we got from the MLS, I'm sure that's a Todd Bowley one, but I think he's Mexican or South
I can't remember
American.
his name. Yeah, highly rated.
Slanina, yeah.
Very interesting.
He's very passionate, and he's from what I've seen, he's got a lot more presence than Kepa. So hopefully that little competition. Because at the end of the day, I think Mendy only signed a 3-year deal, and he's 30 odd. And yes, he's a late bloomer to the top level, but he's got to maintain that. Just my last saving grace for tomorrow is Thiago Silva. I see you came out of the woods, Grizz. For me, since he arrived, I know we've been, by our standards, poor, not challenging. But for me, since his arrival, he's been up there. I would only say Van Dijk has been the best centre back, or a better centre back, should I say?
Ruben Diaz, no.
Pardon?
Ruben Diaz not in that conversation. Maybe this.
Look at that Champions League performance. His bum went. Look at that Champions League performance against. He's supposed to be their captain. They gave him the armband above KDB. And for me, there comes a time, you even see it with Liverpool, when it's tight games. Yes, they play out from the back and they look to hit Trent and Robbo and find their midfielders. But sometimes when they're under the cosh, Van Dijk just brutes out, no nonsense.
But
and I think
honestly,
he just doesn't have that yet.
What's your honestly? Is it not scary hours for you if you're seeing Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, and Azpilicueta for the rest of the season at the back?
For me,
are you not worried? I'd be worried.
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I think Asby will be what Jordan Henderson is for Liverpool. If he has to play, he'll play. And he will do a decent job regardless. Yes, he will get skinned now and again. Yes, he'll be at fault now and again. But I think Fofana is going to come in. So if Fofana comes in, and even if Fofana doesn't come in, people have this misconception that Koulibaly can only play left centre-back. He can play right centre-back. When it was him and Manolas, the Greek centre-half, he played on the right-hand side. Manolas played on the left. It's only once Manolas left that he then stepped into the left centre-back and stayed there. So I think he could play right centre-back, and Cucurella could play left centre-back. We saw him do it for Brighton.
See, I've heard this.
He did it a few games.
Yeah, I've heard this Cucurella left centre-back shout. I genuinely don't think he's going to play more than 5 games there, max. He's not. He's going to be used as left because of his attacking potential and talent.
That's why I think he wants Fofana.
He's a fantastic player, fantastic signing.
Fofana's good, but he's not the
no,
answer
he's
for
not
that
80.
price.
No, he's not 80 million good. He's not the finished article. You know,
Yeah.
man like Martinelli cooked him today. You know what I mean? It was.
But I think his head has been turned, though, Grizz.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because let's be honest, last week for the first game, he was cold. He was
that's
really
a
good
good
performance
point.
from him.
Absolutely, no.
I think
overall he's a very, very good young centre.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think Fofana lifts us to catch Man City and Liverpool, but I think we bring in Fofana, Frankie De Jong, and Aubameyang, for instance. And remember, Aubameyang is going to be Werner's replacement. So all the chances that Werner was getting from running in off the left and fluffing his lines, Aubameyang, that's his bread and butter, coming in off the left. How often was he doing that for Arsenal?
Yeah. I don't want to see Aubameyang at Chelsea. I'm not going to lie.
Exactly. I think we comfortably finish above Arsenal and Tottenham.
Honestly, my opinion is if Chelsea get Fofana, are you saying De Jong and Aubameyang? Let's just say, I'm not worried, man. I'm not worried. As an Arsenal, I don't think that's a good. I think they've had a bad window, especially with the money spent.
We need to
Nah, I think it's screenshot, clip it up and everything. I think that's a terrible window. I wouldn't be happy with that if I was honestly, for me, doesn't move me at all. Like
Really?
I don't. I'm not feeling it. Might be a minority opinion. I don't know, but I'm not feeling that.
I'm shocked by that, man.
Yeah.
Grizz, 2 seconds. Speaking about our window, I'll get back to that. I think our window has been delayed because the takeover, and then Marina's gone, Bruce Bucker's gone. Czech was not supposed to go, but because of his loyalty to Marina and the people that were there before, he felt it was the right thing to move. And that was confirmed because the minute Marina left, Didier Drogba came out with a 5-page dossier on his Instagram about how Marina was so important to the club and so important to us being successful. So I can understand that because I know they wanted to keep Czech, but now he's gone. Yeah. And there's no point in trying to get a director of football in right now when we lost all those players on a free. So I think, yes, everybody's hating on Koulibaly, but who else on the market to replace Rudiger is there?
Could have got Skriniar as well.
No, but look at the price. Look at the price.
60 million. It's better than Skriniar. I'm talking about Skriniar for final. I'd rather have Skriniar. So get Koulibaly, Skriniar.
I would also rather have Skriniar, but again, I think they're looking at it from a point of
long term, man.
Really
long term. Fofana's there, man. Long term. But guys, we need to wrap it up first and foremost. Happy Independence Day, my dear brother. What a result. Listen, I need to shout out all the Pakistanis in the chat. Happy Independence Day. It's going to be in an hour or so. But,
all right, big up Pakistan, man. Pakistan's in the bad, innit? Yeah,
that's the one, my brother. That's the one. So big up everyone. Man, we're loving the 4-0 as well, my brother. Brother Khanage, shout out. And all the other Pakistanis. And if you are, man, we've got the Jamaican reps in the house as well. Big up yourself as well. Listen, we're about 20 away from 300 likes, which is fantastic. So that's amazing for everyone. So smash that like button if you haven't already. They still need close to 200 of you in here. Big up yourselves every time. We've done our 3-hour call-in show. Jez has been amazing as usual. Always comes with the sensible and rational points on all things football. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, my bro.
Anytime. Good luck for Monday.
Nice one. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Yeah, Bilal, it's time to wrap it up. I think we covered Arsenal. Not that much, but we spoke about them.
Yeah, a little bit. It's United was the main talking point today.
United was the main talking point, so that was nice. Liverpool got a shout as usual. Chelsea Spurs, big game tomorrow. We covered that as much as we can. Give you a last minute or so, or a couple of minutes on your team, bro. Like today was cold.
Yeah, Arsenal today, first 15 minutes, I didn't think we started off that well. Xhaka made like 3 mistakes in like 4 minutes. For me, in the first 4 minutes. But after that, it grew into the game. And to be fair, he had a decent game in the end. Yeah, Arsenal, like attacking-wise, when we get it past, you think with Leicester, in the middle, they have a lot of good players. Madison, Tielemans, Didi was playing Jews before. So in the middle, it wasn't actually as easy for Arsenal to bully them today. And they played a 3 at the back as well. So it was very congested in the middle. It made it very hard for Arsenal to actually break them down. But when Arsenal managed to get past that midfield and make it a one-on-one Martinelli versus Fofana and get at that defense, that's when it changed. And the goalkeeper today, Leicester, Ward. I know we're doing the FPL show and they're telling me Ward is going to be the number one for Leicester. This guy is rubbish. Yeah, this guy is not the answer. Leicester need another goalkeeper ASAP. So until they sort that out, like Schmeichel's such a big figure, they've got to replace him. But Arsenal, Jesus again, 2 goals. I think you're calling him the new Ian Wright. So yeah, honestly,
I called it early, bro. I called it early. His playing style, his aliveness, his alertness. He's lively. Ian Wright was lively. I'm not gonna praise my own comparison, but I'm gonna praise my own comparison.
Even the finish today, the first one, that's something Ian Wright would do. I remember Alexis Sanchez did something similar in the Champions League one time.
100%.
Yeah, so already the comparisons to players who are playing at that top level for Arsenal, Jesus is already there. Saliba today, I know people are putting out comments saying own goal, this own goal. Listen, it was a mistake. It happens, but before the own goal and after the own goal, he was immense. And he even saved it was kind of like last ditch clearance to keep out a goal for Saliba again. So for me, listen, he's gonna make mistakes. Yeah, he's 21 years old. Just chill. He's not Van Dijk yet, and these kind of things happen. It's miscommunication. It happens. But for me, before and after, he was fantastic. Zinchenko again, top performance, great player there. Man City, I don't know. I think they're going to regret that one. They signed Sergio Gomez, who was on the backup list of Arsenal. I think he's a good player. Vincent Kompany recommended him as well, same as he did to Lokonga to Arsenal. But yeah, apart from that, Arsenal again at the back, you know, it's always, even if the defense looks sorted, it's Arsenal. There's always an issue. Always make it a bit harder than it should be. But Martinelli again should big him up because I criticized him a little bit, maybe a few weeks ago, saying the end product, man, sometimes it's not there. I'm thinking Smith Rowe sometimes when he goes one-on-one, he gets a shot off more time, it's on target, blah, blah, blah. But 3 games in a row now he scored in the Premier League, counting last season as well. The finish today was fantastic. The work rate, the energy, brilliant. And one thing from Arsenal as well I'd like to say is, last season when Odegaard and Saka played well, Arsenal tended to win the game. When they were off, we didn't do anything. Today, Odegaard and Saka were they wasn't the best today. The right-hand side of our team wasn't really active. But what Jesus and Martinelli did on that left-hand side and what they did, and even Xhaka as well, they added a different dimension to the team. And still, we managed to get the win without these guys having to play 120%.
And that's always a good sign. That's always a good sign, especially for Arsenal. I forgot this super chat when we're talking about managers and up-and-coming managers. So I'm so sorry to Jimmy Nizzle. He says, interesting to see how Xabi Alonso develops. Always spoken highly of in terms of a footballing brain, Xabi Alonso. So you're right. That's a good one to keep an eye on.
One of my favourite players as well. I remember one game, Arsenal-Bayern. Arsenal actually won this game 2-0. It was at the Emirates. And Xabi Alonso, though, man, had like 10 out of 10 performance. You know, when I could see, it looked like he had the midfield on strings. The way he was just dictating everything, like, unbelievable player.
100%, 100%. I've got a hot take on Xabi Alonso. I'm not his biggest fan like you, even though I'm a Liverpool man. But of course, he's a great player. I just didn't think he was elite. That's just my opinion.
He improved a lot at Real Madrid and Bayern, though. Like, he went to a different level. And I think there was a time he said he wanted to come to Arsenal, man. I wish that happened. I could have seen him and Fabregas together.
Yeah, fair enough.
That would have been decent.
Fair enough. Abdul Ras says, unblock me, you piece of shit. Is he talking to you or me? We don't know.
I have no idea.
Abdul, who are you talking to, bro? And if you're talking to me, which I suspect you are, that's not the best way of getting unblocked, you piece of shit. But it is what it is. The game's the game. People, hope you've enjoyed today's show. Another 3-hour blockbuster version of the Premier League call-in. Me and Bilal have covered most of the talking points. We hope to have covered most of the talking points. Tomorrow is a huge, massive game. Don't forget, tomorrow is also Sunday night, which means RedFellas. RedFellas will be in the building. We've got a packed panel. We're going to be talking all things Crystal Palace. We're going to talk all things midfield. We're going to talk all things injuries and all of that good stuff. You know how we do. Bilal, you're going to be FPL Thursday. Have we decided the day yet?
Yeah, Thursday or Friday. We haven't decided. We're going to have to confirm soon.
All right, so Thursday, and then obviously we're going to be back next week for the call-in show. Keep an eye on the channel and the community page if we've got anything else lined up during the week. But yeah, man, Bilal, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a good show today. Some of the guests are wicked. The call-ins are always legit for me.
Yeah, Nikhil and Zuberi, shout them out. That was a good talk. I enjoyed that one.
100%. Zuberi always comes with a proper talk, man. He like makes me think. I love that about him. You know what I mean? He proper makes me like, yeah, man, sit up and take notice what I'm saying, brother. And I have to. When he talks, I have to listen and concentrate. Otherwise, he can get you twanged, man. You understand? You know me, I'm not about to get twanged. But people, this has been the call-in show. We out of here. Take care. Until next time. Peace.